If words, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness don't include the right to experiment with your own consciousness, then the Declaration of Independence isn't worth the hemp it was written on. Stop consuming images and start producing them. Nature is not mute, it is man who is deaf. What a sound, what a beautiful sound, what a beautiful sound. Hope you guys are doing well in your reality. Wherever you find yourself creatively, I hope you are embracing your experience and seeing through the illusions, allowing yourself to just penetrate to the core of where you really want to be with yourself and within your felt experience. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What a time to be alive. 2026. What a time. What a time. It's a blessing. Honestly, I think, I speak of this very openly, especially as a content creator, especially as a performance artist, musician, whatever, right? It's like, as a guy that's just living in the world, in the real world, it's like, it's a real powerful, exciting time to be alive. But I think surely it's easy to get caught up. It's easy to get lost, per se, in the vast sea of distortions and delusions, and almost like get overwhelmed by all the chaos, all the things that are wrong with the world, per se. And it wouldn't be wrong to feel this way. It wouldn't be wrong to assume that perspective, right? To look at this world and be like, man, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of intense things happening. But if you really look closely, if you really realize the potential of the things that are in front of you, the potential of what is actually unraveling on a deeper level, you would see how extraordinary this time is that we're in right now. You really would. You'd see through the distractions, you'd see through the chaos and the distortions, and allow yourself to acknowledge that there is immense potential and extraordinary transformative things happening all the time, everywhere. And being a part of that is a very beautiful honor, I would say. My channel recorded myself playing an ambient show. Very nice. Playing an ambient show. That sounds dope, man. That sounds dope, low-key. Tell me more. What is an ambient show, would you say? Like, if you were doing, like, live, I'm assuming, like, guitar or instrumental type things where record myself playing an ambient show. Yeah, what was this ambient show about? Musically, that is. Right. Yeah, that's dope, man. Sounds like a great experience. I was actually at this thing yesterday. You may see if you're a new or familiar, a regular, that's the word I was looking for, on this channel, is I was doing a live stream yesterday, and I was at the Cherry Blossom Festival. So in British Columbia, I think it's a worldwide thing, the Cherry Blossom season, of course, but it's like the Cherry Blossom Festival was happening. And I don't know, there was some really dope live music. I was trying to capture it actually on a live, but then I ended up running into some friends and decided, you know what, I'm just going to be present. I'm going to flip off the live stream and just hang out and enjoy this festival. But yeah, the first like 5-10 seconds or a minute or so was literally just like live bass, live like silky electric guitar, and live harp. And the harpist was actually also doing vocals on top of it. It was very magical. Lots of harmonics. By Lightning, Great Evening. Interesting. I have no idea what that song is, if that's a song, I'm assuming. Tibetan Shamanic Farm. What an awesome name, though. Tibetan Shamanic Farm. I'm assuming if you're on a Tibetan Shamanic Farm, or that's what you're all about, that sounds dope as fuck. Lots of harmonics and long notes with reverb. Nice. Fuzz, whammy bar pedal. Very nice, brother. Very nice, brother. What's good? What's good, Billy? What's poppin', dog? That hat makes you a rock star. Nice. Thanks, Matthew. I've honestly, brother, I felt I felt like a rock star. That is, I felt like I've embodied rock star energy and unapologetic tenacity and how I've lived my life way before I've gotten this hat. But this hat, it's it makes me feel good. I designed it. It's the first hat I've ever designed where I was like, word, like let's rock hats. Let's return back to the 18th century or the 80s and let's just rock hats again. Yeah. So it helps articulate that, I feel. And I'd say let that be a reminder to all of us, guitarists, musicians alike. We all can embody that sort of rock star energy. Like I don't think being a rock star necessarily has to do with you can be a rock star. You can be an 80s rock star icon, play shows, tour, do that sort of thing. But I honestly have always seen being a rocker or a punk rocker or whatever you want to be, whatever your genre is. I've actually always seen it as a mentality. I've actually always seen it as like, sure, you can be a phenomenal, competent guitarist. You can be a touring musician. You can be a performer. You can be whatever you desire in this world, more or less. But I think being a rock star is actually just a mentality. Whether you are a fire performer, as I am, acrobatic, meditative sound healer, whatever you want to be in this world, right? If you approach the life you live like a rock star. Basically, you embody your unapologetic truth. You just unapologetically and tenaciously express yourself. Then you're already on your way, right? And yeah, rocking hats or wearing the clothes you want to wear, expressing the way you desire to express yourself. Just enjoying this beautiful reality that we live in. Just being the person that you want to be, right? I think these all are very potent steps. You look like Jacob Collier. Nice. Thanks, low-key. That's, I don't think I look like Jacob Collier, but I'm in the similar age gap. Or age group. He's like 2 years younger than me, and he's like, actually, Jacob Collier has a birthday that's like, I think a week or a few days before mine. So we have a very similar, I don't know, astrological, generational sort of thing, and we're both obviously musicians. So I don't think I look a lot like Jacob Collier, but I love Jacob Collier, so shout out Jacob Collier. Do I smoke? I do not smoke anything. I mean, on the odd occasion, I smoke changa DMT, but I don't smoke ganja or cigarettes or anything like that. Not anymore. Haven't for 11 years, but weed is pretty cool, I gotta say. I don't use it, but I remember it fondly, and it smells and is delicious. The hat is dope. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Tibetan. I agree. I mean, you can kind of see it. This does it justice, this light. It's like a dark, rich, garnet, auburn, sort of ox blood. It's magic. It's magic. And honestly, again, it's like there's something so dope about hats. Just being in this place where it's like almost like an ancient or like 1800s, 1900s, early kind of thing. It's like it's a thing that's from a different generation that for whatever reason, rocking like a big top hat or whatever hat you want to rock. It's almost like it's a thing that's not as modern. A lot of people are just not rocking distinguished hats, which I think they should, because fuck it. It's like, it's a fun thing. It's like you can just like do so much with a hat. You can express so much. It's just such an interesting expression. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I'm interested in the journey. Nice. In the journey medicine. As you are. Nice. Like the medicine journey, I imagine. I'm just saying. As you should be, brother. I think all of our journey, our medicine journey, if you will, very powerful, very individualistic. It's individual to you. We're all on a path. We're all on a journey, a medicine journey, if you will. If you're on that path, you're pulling those threads. And it doesn't even have to necessarily involve engaging in, say, plant medicines as you might quintessentially define. It can, and it probably should at some degree. If we're talking about cactus medicines or, ayahuasca brews or whatever. But the reality is, this is what's beautiful to consider is a medicine journey doesn't even actually need to involve psychoactive medicines. Now, again, I think visionary medicine per se has a powerful role, mushrooms, psychedelic cactus, whatever, but the actual core, deeper part of a psychedelic, or not even psychedelic, a medicine journey is actually more so the integration, it's the process, it's the community, it's the intention. There's various variables that go so much deeper. Maybe it's an exploration or a quest to go to another country, honor the remote jungles or the parts of the land or maybe the ancient Himalayan areas. Like, it's about honoring the land. It's about connecting with the land, connecting with your ancestors, with your tribes. These are things that are not mutually exclusive to doing psychedelics. Now, I'm a massive advocate of psychedelics. I understand intimately from my own experience, and I advocate, a responsible, self-aware application of psychedelic medicine. But again, that's the beautiful thing, is you don't need necessarily to be on this quest where you're, drinking ayahuasca or something regularly. I mean, you can if that's what calls you, but even just being a musician, is like an altered state. Well, if you're like really deep in that portal, like creating music as I do on this channel, right? That is an altered state. You can access higher states with just resonance patterns. Why did I smoke, or why did I stop weed? I'm interested in the journey of medicine. I stopped weed primarily actually because I just wanted to stop smoking anything. I was like, you know what? I want to learn to vocalize. That was actually the prime reason, is I was learning to vocalize, about 10 years ago. I was discovering that I liked vocalizing. I was like learning to cover, like 3 Days Grace songs and 30 Seconds to Mars. Like, I was exploring my ability to vocalize. And I realized that especially when you're a man and you're trying to sing like light falsettos, like you're really trying to take your singing seriously, you're trying to lean into the entirety of what vocalizing is. Smoking weed or smoking anything consistently just doesn't work. You're just like, you know what? This is not comprehensive. And I also was training kickboxing a lot at that time. I was like getting into kickboxing a lot, and I was doing cardio kickboxing. So smoking anything was absurd. It was like I was like, you know what? I can't consistently keep smoking, be it if it was nicotine or marijuana. I was like, you know what? There's no way I can take being a vocalist seriously, or training martial arts when I'm smoking something. So it was against my better judgment. Quitting nicotine was easy, but quitting marijuana was like, I don't really want to quit this. But I did it because I'm going to take a long tolerance break. And then I did for like 2-3 years. And I just focused on vocalizing, doing cardio, lots of running, lots of kickboxing. And then eventually I just realized that, oh, wait a second, I don't need to smoke weed. I actually don't need it in my life at all. It was almost like the immediate things that I would engage in when I was smoking weed. Like, say, I would dance a lot when I would get stoned. I would meditate a lot. I would, just chill. I realized I can do all those things sober now. And I can focus a life that revolves around that. Fast forward, I'm 31 years old, haven't smoked weed for 11 years. It's the truth. You don't need marijuana for a majority of things you think you need it for. Now, if it opens the door, it helps facilitate relaxation, you treat it with reverence as a medicine in a balanced way, it can surely be something that serves you. Most people abuse the shit out of it. Like, they think, I love marijuana, it's beautiful, it's serving me. No. It's like you're getting to a point where it's ruining your life objectively, and you're just being like, yeah, but it's so great. It's like, maybe it's not the end of the world. Like, using ganja is not like I would say it's an amazing medicine. I love it. But I think I live in BC where it's legalized. You can walk 3 blocks any direction and you will find dispensaries everywhere. It's legal. You can get high quality ganja everywhere and anywhere. And what I'm saying is the culture of how people smoke it is It's ever present. Everyone smokes it, and I haven't smoked weed for 11 years. And honestly, my motivation, my level of peace, clarity, my focus has never been higher. You know, my sleep quality, my stress levels. I'm in a place where, yeah, it's like all the things that you think you'd reach to. Like, let's smoke weed because it'll help me in XYZ. Unless, again, there's exceptions. It'll maybe help you manage pain tolerance. There's cannabinoids are a healthy receptor that you can even get outside of smoking weed. Yeah. Nice. But yeah, anyways, that was my 2 cents. Thank you for asking, Jeremy. It's a thing, honestly. Again, I don't talk about this stuff a lot. I'm a dude that's like a quintessential example of a guy that's thriving, sober. That's just how I live my life. But yeah, dog. I think, again, I live in British Columbia, Canada. Weed is legal, and so is marijuana. I mean, so is magic mushrooms. So is many beautiful medicines. And I think whether we're talking about, beautiful plant medicines, or we're talking about, well, plant medicines that is ganja, right? It's all about balance. It's all about knowing yourself, knowing your brain, knowing your body. If you, quintessentially, humans like to abuse things, unfortunately. Whether we're talking about caffeine, whether we're talking about eating foods and your dietary things, it's like humans really do seem to just lean into extremes. We don't very naturally regulate and calibrate the balance of what we really do desire to integrate. Whether we're talking about whatever. Yeah. Play that instrument completely. Have you ever played a whole song on guitar online? Could you now? I'm doing improvisation right now, friend, but thank you. I have lots of originals, lots of lots of full expressions, hours of improvisation on my channel if you desire to subscribe and check it out, brother. But we're here just doing a live sound journey dynamic. Yes, sir. Johnny Depp from Timu. Hey, I'll take that, bro. I'll take that. Johnny Depp from Timu. Honestly, I get Johnny Depp, Heath Ledger. I don't see the Johnny Depp that much. Maybe like a young Johnny Depp rocking hats, I don't know, but I can see Daniel Weber and Heath Ledger. I can kind of see the connection, but either way, high praise. Thank you for the compliment. You didn't smoke weed, but it's fun. Yeah, I don't judge at all. Like, people want to smoke weed, you want to drink alcohol, you want to do compounds, I'm not going to judge. I know what works for me. I understand intimately because I've used all these compounds. I personally feel like I can see with clarity the application for all these compounds. I'm just a student of the body and the mind. I love these things. I love studying these things. A lot of people, even just against their own best judgment, they don't see the appropriate way to integrate these compounds. That's just the reality. If there was a role for these compounds, which there is, like, say we're talking about any compound ever, most people don't know how to actually effectively dial that in. And that's it. I'm not saying marijuana is good or bad or whatever. You can do whatever you want. Free will. We have free will, autonomy in this world. But I'm saying it's about balance. It's about learning to be a student of your body and your mind, your neurology, right? And if you can actually learn about these things and effectively dial these things in, all these things can be powerful medicines. Anyways, do you know you are immortal? Damn. Wow. I love what you guys, where you guys are at. Dropping the real powerful, the bangers, the real deep questions. So you're asking, do you know you are immortal? Do I know I'm immortal? Well, I'm a mortal being. Okay, let's be real. If we're going to go in that philosophical place, Ned Bishop, I'm a mortal being. I live in a 3D reality. Right now, you and me, we're in this 3D reality, right? We know we are connected and rooted by our sensory experience. We experience the 3D reality. That is how we are in this human vessel. We're mortal beings. This is facts. We're going to decay. We're going to leave this world. That's okay. That's facts. But if you're talking about the energy that is the core, the motive, who I am, my consciousness, sure, you could actually say that yes, in some rights, we are the energy, we're the raw energy behind this mortal being that is in a sense immortal. Energy cannot be destroyed. It only can be transformed. We are energy. So yes, the energy that is us is immortal. In a sense, we don't know if we'll manifest into another human vessel. We don't know where it's gonna go. You could manifest, die and rebirth as a bird or an eagle. Like, who knows? I don't really know. It's almost like an anomaly, the fact that you are in a human vessel as you are. But a human is mortal. We are mortal. Like, we're gonna decay. We're 3D reality beings. Everything in balance, brother. Yeah. Nice. One cannot enjoy the benefits of the medicine binds you. Exactly, Tibetan shaman farm. I like your perspective, brother. Don't be fooled. The magical hat gives a philosophical power. Only 3 of the hats are known. Damn. Wow. That's right, Rockfan. You're right. You're not wrong. I mean, I don't know if it's exactly like that, but this hat does give me somehow. It gives me like a plus 10 creative compositional points. It gives me skill points. I swear. I'm not making this up. Gives me plus 10 creativity. Like, this baby, I popped this on my head. I've only had it for like a couple weeks, but as I purchased this hat and I've designed it, it's like, this gives me skill points. This is like real world video game. It's dead ass. I abuse it, smoke weed every day for 15 years. Chill. Nice. Yeah, no, that's, well, to yin yang air, I don't know your life, brother. I don't know your lifestyle. I don't know the context that's going on. But I'm under the impression that's, you fit the model of what I just said. Is unfortunately, you may be so desensitized to how it's affecting, maybe for the better, for the worse. You probably could be, if you stepped outside and re-primed your neurochemistry, you'd probably realize, okay, marijuana's great and smoked 15 years. There's probably things that you've become desensitized to. Comforts, domains of discomfort that you probably need and would benefit from strongly. Again, I don't know your life, brother. That if you were to powerfully reflect on that and actually see the way that you can use, again, marijuana as a tool, not as just a lifestyle choice, then you'd probably benefit profoundly. And again, this is from a guy that smoked weed for like 6 years, multiple times a day, loved it. I was like, I'm going to smoke this probably till I die. I love this shit. And then I haven't for 11 years because I had like a placebo effect that I associated with quitting. I was like, well, just taking a break. I was like, I'm going to learn vocalizing. I'm going to focus kickboxing. I'm going to learn to hone cardiovascular training, running. All things I could not do when I smoked weed every single day, multiple times a day. And when I made that transition, these were way better choices. These profoundly changed my life for the better. And I don't know. This is, you'll figure it out. I'm from Tofino. Nice. You're from Tofino, Vancouver Island. It is not your culture, brother. That is not Tofino's culture. I can like say that with a shot of a doubt. Again, we're both from BC, brother. Everyone says British Columbia legalizes weed. It's not a cultural thing to smoke weed. That's absurd. Yes, weed is a human thing. It's a choice. It's a thing you can associate with culture. You can embrace it. I don't think there's anything wrong with weed, but to say that, like, be like, it's our culture, we all do it, that's why we're going to abuse it, abuse our bodies, abuse the medicine, that's not true, brother. It's not a culture. But shout out to Tofino. Tofino's beautiful, brother. Yeah, blessings from the mainland. I drink beer in excess. Well, that sucks, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have to tell you that yeah, I mean, beer's chill. I drink a beer maybe every like month, once or twice a month. I'll have a beer or two because that's just, I don't drink. I'm not a drinker, but yeah, I don't have to tell you that drinking beer in excess is not a good idea. But yeah, I'd rather play some dope live meditative music for you guys than offer you, all the unsolicited advice in the world. But, take it with a grain of salt. This human experience is beautiful. It's a constant evolving experience. And I think our relationship with our bodies and our minds is something that we as humans should be a student of. We should be open-minded, open-hearted to realize how much potential we have to grow and expand and, again, find balance and equilibrium with these things. Take that as you will. Yeah, every day British Columbia is cool. I love British Columbia, brother. I'm glad you're also loving this country, brother. What about shroom trips? They are spiritual experiences. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. What about Snoop Dogg? Every day. I don't know. I don't know how to. I'm not sure if I should take you seriously at all, Ned Bishop. But I mean, I think you're just yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. But of course, shrooms, brother. Shrooms. If you're new to this channel, you know, welcome, friend, welcome. But I'm a massive advocate of psilocybin, shrooms. I use shrooms actively. I haven't used shrooms actually in probably like maybe like 2 months now or something. But I've been using shrooms since I was like 15 years old. Sometimes I'll go hero doses. I've used various microdoses. I believe in treating them with responsibility, with reverence, as a medicine, as in any medicine. But yeah, shrooms are awesome. Shout out magic mushrooms. Shout out magic mushrooms, brother. Hand movements. Cannabis, what a magical plant. Absolutely OTP. Honestly, it's a magical, beautiful, beautiful plant. It smells good, tastes good. Again, I don't use it. I think there's a way to use it with reverence. Unfortunately, in British Columbia, a lot of people fail to do that, and it is what it is. Yeah. I got a lot of people here today. I suppose so. I don't even know. I think this is about normal. So far, I forget. We've been here for like what? Like 20? No, we've been here for half an hour. This is about normal so far. But we got a lot of interesting characters that have really cool opinions so far. So, No, you have rum. Strangely enough, I do have rum. I drink like once a month, if that. But weirdly enough, I don't know how you figured this out, brother. To Brendan, True American. Obviously, you just guessed, but maybe it's because you're just thinking, oh, I'm embodying the Johnny Depp energy, because you're not wrong. I actually bought a bottle that has an X on it. I don't know what it is. First time I've actually ever bought a bottle of rum. Like, literally, first time in my life. Except for when I was like 15 or something. And I bought a bottle. It's like a little glass bottle with a cork and has an X on it. And yeah, I intend to make that last many months, because again, I don't drink much rum. But I got rum. It's delicious. And yeah, shout out rum. Yeah, don't drink rum. I mean, unless you drink it responsibly. How do you know you are mortal until you die? That's a hilarious question, brother. So you're questioning. Hey, I don't judge, but that's cool, Crowley. You're telling me you're Crowley or Crowley, Crowley. Nice. So you're saying we should just like really. I like it. You're wanting to be really like objective, really challenge everything. So you're challenging. How do we know we're mortal? So you're saying all the people that are dying, it's some sort of illusion, some sort of charade. Like all these people we know for a fact have passed away, deceasing. They're deceased. People are dying every day or whatever, but you're saying we don't really know for certain that people are actually dying. That's wild, bro. You just look like my brother. Oh wow. Well, rest in peace. Rest in peace, geeky zombie girl. Rest in peace to your brother. I've been told to look like a lot of people, strangely, which is high praise. Who doesn't? We got some good archetypes here. Nice. 100 million, a billion aura. God damn, I don't think I've ever gotten that. Wow, that's a lot of aura. I don't know, bro. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but thank you. I'll take that. There are studies that are children remembering their own past life. Yes, I've seen those studies, actually, Moon. But also welcome. I've seen those studies, and I agree, and I love them. I love hearing. I believe these. I believe these children that speak about remembering their past lives, like without certainty. This is I know for a fact. Maybe not every single one of them, but I'm sure a lot of them are remembering actual past lives. The details they're describing, I believe in that. I've never experienced remembering past lives, but those that do, I believe this is a thing. I was declared clinically dead for 8 minutes, brother. The spirit world exists. Wow. You are one of many Tibetan shaman. You're one of many, and I'm happy you're here, brother. And I'm happy you came back. Hey, dude, I listened to you the other day, and you sounded really good. Thank you, Charles. We're just improvising meditative sound journeys. I swear that's the hardest part of this act, is always balancing this thing properly. It's always like, I think what I need to do is I need to find some sort of some sort of pole or some sort of stand to hold the tingsha so it can perfectly just sit in place. That's what I probably need to do. I don't know where I'll find this or how it's gonna appear. Welcome. How old am I? I'm 31. Yeah. You don't think weed can be cultural? Jamaica. I think weed can be cultural, definitely. But I don't think what I was expressing to IO is smoking weed is not the culture of Tofino. It's not. It's not the culture of like the entire Tofino is it's a city in Vancouver Island. I'll be honest, never been there. Actually, no, maybe I'm wrong. Not a city of yeah, it's in Vancouver Island. So it's a part of British Columbia. And yes, of course, Jamaican Rastafarian culture do resonate with weed. I actually really enjoy that. I enjoy Rastafarian culture. I've met people that resonate. I think that's actually a beautiful culture, strangely enough. Like, you know, especially when I was younger, that's part of what I liked about smoking weed is I liked the culture, and I really do, and I believe there is a culture behind smoking weed. I don't think one particular city, an island city, actually is, and especially in British Columbia, the entirety of what that culture is to smoke weed, and people, you know, even without self-awareness, even again, if a person is smoking weed and it is a part of their culture, that doesn't mean that they cannot still integrate it with harmony. They can't honor and revere the medicine in a way that's healthy and conducive to a balanced health. It's not about culture per se, but again, I think culture connecting to weed is beautiful. Honestly, the music, the look, like Rastafarian culture, beautiful. Like, honestly, I love that shit. Remind me of the guy from Midnight Gospel. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen the Midnight Gospel. But that's thank you, brother. I've heard it's good. I think I've seen little blips of Midnight Gospel, and it's a trip and a half. So it makes sense. Is the first weed discovered in Afghanistan? Ah, yeah, the first weed. Huh. I never knew that, man. Let's do this. Where's my bow? Ever done LSD? Yes. I love LSD. I've actually... I feel like I'm going to have to, at some point when I get monetized, probably like... Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually... I'm going to direct all my LSD, shroom, psychedelic, changa talks. All those are going to be directed to my Patreon or whatever, maybe Instagram Live or something, because I don't think I can get... I don't know. I'm not sure how it works, but once I get monetized and sponsored and whatever... I probably can't be talking about like LSD and marijuana all day long. I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe I can. I don't know. But yeah, I love LSD. I went to a store. There's a store in British Columbia that actually sells like high quality lab tested LSD, like really high quality. They also sell everything from like DMT to high quality shrooms. It's a shroom dispensary. It's a magic mushroom dispensary that happens to also sell LSD. I went there just about 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. And yeah, I'm gonna purchase a vial of LSD. I love LSD. I do it very sparsely. Like I don't do LSD much, but I love that shit. Okay, geeky zombie girl, shrooms, LSD, Molly. I use them to go on trips. Not meant for daily use. Prefer. Definitely not meant for daily use at all. Any of those things. But I think sometimes you're going through something. A trip is exactly what you need. Yeah, I think. Yes, I mean, in phases of your life, like, let's be real here, if you traded that philosophy to your entire life, you know, into your mid-40s and 50s and beyond, you probably aren't you aren't learning the lesson. You aren't integrating the medicine, because these medicines, LSD, magic mushrooms, sure, use them in a little bit if you want to use them recreational, maybe every once in a while, every year or a little, with balance. But it's like what Terrence McKenna says, or no, Aldous Huxley, I believe, in the book that Terrence McKenna quotes. Um, Once you get the message, hang up the phone, right? If you enter like a DMT realm or a shrooms exosphere and you get the message, like the message is just like, hey, stop abusing your your body, your neurochemistry, your brain, like, enter a spiritual path or connect with nature, whatever the message is, right? Or maybe, connect with your higher self. If you get the message, hang up the phone. You should not need to, for the betterment of your life, just engage in these altered states. You should not need to. The whole point of most compounds, I would say, this is a blunt message, is inevitably to integrate this neurochemistry that you experience in altered states in your sober reality. You should be able to access a majority of these altered states, or these heightened states of neurochemistry, serotonergic, dopaminergic, without these compounds. That's the point. That is the point, I believe. Now, some people are like, yeah, maybe yes, no, I don't know. But the reality is, if you cannot access these like heightened or altered states sober, you're probably not receiving, you're not integrating the message, you're not listening to the message that is trying to transmit through you via psychedelics or whatever. Anyway, food for thought. Dan Bishop, I'm indeed new to this channel, was kind of joking, also experiment shrooms. Cool, brother. A couple of trips per year, and they changed my perspectives in great ways. Nice. Nah, cool, man. Well, welcome, Ned. Welcome, dog. You seem to have an interesting perspective so far from what I can extract. Experiment with shrooms and learn to respect it. Yeah. That's honestly, brother, I love to hear that. Honestly, no matter, like, we're all humans, right? We're all imperfect. We're humans. We live in the 3D reality. Like, that's kind of how this core theme unravels. We live in the 3D. We're imperfect. We experience polarity. We're here to experience this, the better, and, the positive and the negative, the dark and the light. So, but yeah, if you revere, if you really see like reverence, you're like, you know what, I want to honor, I want to revere these medicines, whether we're talking about ganja, shrooms, DMT, that is a core message that I strongly feel is very important to receive. Now, this doesn't need to come in a flash of perspective and suddenly your life is revolving around revering a compound, but no, it's like you should realize that these are sacred medicines. Like, that's a very core truth that our ancient ancestors have been trying to tell us for millennia. That's like, you look back into our history, into our heritage. These medicines are sacred. They should, like, we should, in a lot of like good conscious desire to revere these medicines. But yeah, that's dope, man. So if you can see that, yeah, mushrooms are such a beautiful thing that is, it's meant to be revered. It's meant to, when you can develop a sacred context with something like mushrooms, it will change your life, invariably. If you just do mushrooms, recreationally and unconsciously, and you're juggling a bunch of other drugs, and, you're treating it like it's like not a sacred thing, then it's probably not going to reveal to you the depths of what you really want it to reveal to you. How do you make the guitar make that sound? I'm assuming you mean this? The guitar sound as a whole, I'm using a preamp. Mainly I'm just plugged into Ableton. I'm in Ableton, so I got an audio interface hooked up to this. But I'm using a preamp called the Tonewood amp. If you guys are new to this channel, if you're interested, Tonewood amp. Please sponsor me. They're not going to sponsor me anytime soon, but I love them. I've been using a Tonewood amp for like 10 plus years. Magical. It doesn't actually increase the volume. It's not an amp per se. It's a preamp. So you can hear. Basically, it stretches out the natural resonance pattern. Like, the sound hole has a resonance pattern. You hit a guitar sound, and it flows through the sound hole. The Tonewood amp actually takes that reverberation, that resonance pattern, through like a technology that is this little like vibrating pulse in the Tonewood amp, and it grabs that resonance pattern and stretches it out. It makes it more pronounced. It doesn't actually make it louder, at least not much louder. Whoa. I gotta find the organic angle for this. But yeah, that's how I make the guitar sound this way, brother. I remember, or sister, I remember several past lives and did some research after and found historical figures matching with the names and dots or dates and life events. Each of the children partner fit. Reincarnation is real. I love that, brother. Thank you for sharing, Temple. It's good to see you, dog. But yeah, that's a real thing. I believe in that strongly. That makes so much sense. In truth, like in my mind, the fact of, as Matthias de Stefano underlines, he's a fellow that is a metaphysical teacher. He speaks about like metaphysical philosophies and dimensions and whatever. And his entire thing is he's a fellow, Matthias de Stefano, beautiful speaker. He's on Gaia, he's on YouTube, very intelligent guy. And he's very humble. He's a very humble, very casual dude. He's not trying to be like some sort of like preachy type of like spiritual overseer. He's just a dude. He's just a dude. Just a regular dude that, he's Argentinian, I believe, and he's just like fumbling his way through life, and he happens to remember his past life. Like he remembers it with vivid detail. Every detail that has deep accuracy. He remembers that he was, a woman in ancient Atlantean times in the city of Kem. How it's like Kemn or Kehmn. It's like it's an ancient Atlantean city. Anyways, he basically breaks down a lot of the ancient Atlantean philosophies. Like apparently the ancient Atlanteans, like to summarize, they had a system that sort of loosely resembles the way that we unpackage spirituality now. Basically, the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Atlanteans, in Egypt, they had a lot of very intricate systems to honor and access the chakra systems. Like this was ancient Egypt a long time ago. This was very well understood. And what Matthias explains in depth is he explains how we can understand, the 9 different dimensions, the 9D, like the 9 different dimensions, as we understand, 1, 2, 3, which we're in, 4, which is time and beyond, 5, which is outside of time, 6, which is kind of like beyond the restraints of time, 7, which is beyond, I guess it's like beyond our sensory restraints, becomes like almost like a visionary state, and then 7, 8D, which is where we access when we're saying altered states of consciousness or in the quantum and beyond, but we have some autonomy, and then 8 and 9 is when we have full autonomy. We become basically like creator complex. But anyways, he explains that in the ancient Egyptians, they knew this. Like they lived their life, they taught this like we do in school. We have schools in ancient Egypt and ancient Atlantis. They had different hierarchies. It wasn't like obviously common knowledge. It was like you would have to go through different hierarchies that was passed on through your ancestors, that would take you to like temples, and you would learn about all these, advanced spiritual practices that were simply learning to activate the energy in your body through your chakras. But anyways, this fellow remembers in detail, vivid detail, his ancient life in Atlantean as a woman. And he uses this life. He points back to it. He uses these glimmers and flashes of memory to explain metaphysical philosophy and metaphysics. Like he breaks down spiritual concepts in great detail, and also connects the dots to how it connects to modern science, to how we as humans try to, look at things in a modern context where we're losing a lot of the actual core truths. And he's just a speaker, he's a teacher, But he remembered his past life in detail, and I think without a shadow of a doubt, there's others that do this. This is a real thing. Most of us, if not all of us, we've all lived past lives. We don't remember them, as Matthias loved to underline. He says that he's a memory cell. He remembered. He was chosen for whatever reason on this earth to remember, just to remember. That's it. Remember his past life. He remembered it. He did not forget. All of us, when we come into this world, we forget. I have zero memory, true memory of my recollection of any past life, but it's a thing. What is it like being on shrooms? Oh. Wow. Well, being on mushrooms is pretty simple, right? I mean, not really, but in a small microdose, it basically feels like, your filter is temporarily removed. Your filter of reality. Like you feel like your emotions are more present. Like what magic mushrooms does, right? It suppresses your amygdala activity temporarily. So if you, that's on a neurological level. It suppresses your amygdala activity, right? So what that means is your fear-based center, and amygdala has a lot of different functions, but the core thing that it primarily engages is your fear. It's how we perceive fear. And when your amygdala is suppressed temporarily, you basically see the world in a less fearful way, in a fearless way, in some degree. Maybe not like indefinitely, it depends on how deep you go in the mushroom experience, but your brain basically sees the world, if I would try to explain it. On small doses, you see things in a little bit of an altered state. Maybe you got a little intuitive burst of intuition where you feel called and attracted to certain things. But I'll be perfectly honest, if I'm going to be very transparent, mushrooms, they're very unique to basically an experience that's not trying to be quintessentially euphoric. That is, magic mushrooms will, and if not always, elicit some discomfort. Maybe it'll be physical discomfort, maybe emotional discomfort, maybe it's spiritual, like deep existential discomfort. Is magic mushrooms on the entry level, like on a microdose, they could be very self-perpetual, could be very, very gentle, you're euphoric, very, very light. But most mushroom experiences, especially if you've never done them in your life, they're going to reveal you the world without a filter. It's going to be uncomfortable to look at. It's going to be intense. You're going to look at yourself, you're going to look at the world and be like, whoa, like what the fuck? Because the nature of it, because this maybe aligns with a lot of, if you're, present here frequently, I don't mind looking at the world, with genuine presence. When you are not afraid to be present with yourself, with your emotions, with the world around you, like you're not basically suppressing the true nature of how things align and function and operate, because you're not escaping, you're not running away as often we default into. It's not even our fault per se. You'll realize that being present with the state of the world is difficult, but it's also extremely fruitful and extremely valuable. So yeah, mushrooms helps remove your filter, helps you see beyond a mind that's programmed with fear because your amygdala is temporarily deactivated, or suppressed. But the idea is that if you choose to do mushrooms and you've never done mushrooms, it's probably going to be pretty challenging, because very rarely, if maybe not ever, have you ever had to actually look at the world in this lens that magic mushrooms show you. Now, there's other psychedelics like LSD and other things that they challenge your filters. They do interesting things. They enter in altered states. But magic mushrooms is like infamously known for being challenging. It's very like, it's not like a sugar coated, what's the word, like rose tinted glasses kind of reality. Like, wow, everything's magic, or everything's beautiful and is just, yeah, like rose tinted. It's like you will look into it and be like, holy shit, this is a lot. Like, this is intense. Like, is this actually how reality is, unfiltered? Is this actually, you see the larger context of what's going on beneath all the programming? Like, you're like, oh, if I just strip away the programming for a second, you strip away the veil, all the veils of escapism, you see that this world's a pretty intense place. But if you sit with it, you'll realize there's not really inevitably anything to fear. Like, fear is it's the veil, it's the programmed construct. Basically, the truth of how your being is, the truth of your own peace and your own ability to just to be, has been layered in deep layers of programming that is fear-based. It's controlling, it's trying to... So if you do something in mushrooms, you're going to see very clearly how deeply you've been programmed. You're going to be like, oh, maybe, like, damn, this shit, this stuff that I'm absorbing, all these different programs and all these different patterns aren't necessarily serving me. And it's going to feel, at least initially, very intense, very difficult. You're just going to be like, this is a lot to sit with. But it's healthy. It's very healthy. Oof, that was a loud attack. Yeah. Bro, wear the hat correctly. This is correctly. Like brother or sister, whomever is behind the screen, trust. This is the way to wear a hat. This is the way to wear the hat. This is cold hard facts. Not judging or something, but it's kind of weird to someone to say that likes the weed, aestheticism. Don't you think this is effed up to some people's? This really effed up some people's life. Personally, I don't think there's something beautiful. You speaking? Are you speaking to me, or are you speaking to someone else in the comments? Let's see. So mushrooms or that. Interesting. But yeah, now to Naluba, to Nuluba. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there you just said. So let's unpackage it. Let's unpackage it, friend. So for one, I did not, by any means, like I don't take what you're saying personally. I just would love to hear you and air out what you're saying. I'm saying the culture of it, like the healthy integration of the medicine that is marijuana, has healthy community building. It has healthy values. Like there's parts of it that I think is intriguing, but I take that as at a surface level. I'm not saying that this is the way, this is like the truth. No, I think there are people that find solace in smoking marijuana at some phase in their life, right? It serves a purpose. Maybe it helps them find some dimension of community. Maybe it's usually, again, we're talking about like usually people that are lost, that are in a very dire place in their life. You know, they want some sort of solace. They want some sort of domain of community. And I think, yes, that marijuana can be something. Again, I haven't smoked weed for 11 years, brother. I do not advocate it. What I do advocate, and again, this is a thing that I'm saying almost as like an exploratory conceptualization, if we will. That's a mouthful, but the idea is marijuana can be used responsibly, can be used harmoniously. Most people do not do that. This is just a part of the human condition. A lot of people are like, oh, let's do this compound, let's engage in this substance, let's do XYZ. Yes, there is a healthy integrated role for this medicine, for this compound, right? You can use marijuana as for example. But the idea is most people have not seen this role. So does this mean that this medicine should be demonized? Does it mean people that desire to try to find this balance and find some solace and peace from this medicine should be demonized? No, of course not. We shouldn't write off a medicine, be like, oh, the medicine is the problem. No, brother, it's the stigmatization. It's the misconceptions. It's the broken models of how people as a whole, as individuals, have neglected their ability to honor their bodies, their minds, and balance within themselves. That is the underlying issue. So yeah, I don't say why demonize a whole culture of people that desire to find some sort of joy in a plant. It's a medicine. You're right. You're probably right. It's a slippery slope. Societally, we've gone in a very bizarre direction where people are probably not using this medicine in a harmonious way, even remotely. But again, I would say it's super important not to try to like attach a further stigma. Yeah. And again, if you're saying that you're taking that, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how you're contextualizing that, but if you're really triggered by that, like you're triggered in the sense you're saying it's fucked up some people's lives, and that's like a means to almost like, again, demonize people who do see joy in it, that's a you problem, friend. Like, that's a thing that, again, nothing personal. Is like, you need to realize that, yes, humans will abuse things, sadly. Core truth. If this is the first time hearing that, then, you know, you got to really process that, brother. Humans will abuse things. We're going to abuse everything. We're going to abuse alcohol, caffeine, we're going to abuse sex, we're going to abuse everything, sadly. It's just the unfortunate reality. Most humans fail to see the harmonious role that these experiences have. But that doesn't necessarily mean we should blame the compound or the culture of what it is, or no. It's like, we need to take personal responsibility as we as individuals need to just reclaim our autonomy, to reclaim our relationships with our bodies. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. If not, then, you know, c'est la vie. I'll check in again, brother. Wholesome evening to you. Yo, thank you. Thank you, Tibetan Shamanic Farm. I love that name, brother. I love that name. Like, that name slaps, I must say. Bro, that is Takamine guitar. This is a Yamaha, friend. Yeah, it's a Yamaha. I've never heard of a Takamine guitar. I'm curious. Buckethead. Nice. It's not a Takamine guitar. Please do not spam, brother. I don't want to remove your comment rights because you seem tight. You're asking about guitars. Trixer Lats. Interesting. Is a Yamaha. Yeah, brother. I know I'm behind in comments. I'm profoundly behind, I think. But yeah, it's not a, it's a Yamaha. Yamaha guitar. Shout out Yamaha. So here we are. Words, words, words. Words. Words, words, words. I'm gonna do a little bit of a speed run to get you guys to be back on track. So it's a Yamaha. So did the person who was saying that weed was a beautiful thing? Yes, someone could take marijuana and be a negative thing in their life because of addiction. Yeah. Yeah, that's a parallel. That's a beautiful point of discussion, which I'm happy to engage in, where yes, marijuana should not be demonized. We should be like, marijuana is the problem. You can objectively, in a, you know, in a sort of sense, a surface level sense, like sure, let's blame the medicine. But the fact of the matter is, it is people, it is people's perception in relation with their body, their mind, and of course, if we're going to talk about addiction, as like people like Gabriel Maté says, the reason why people even get addicted to things is an underlying, you know, need or a psychological model that is fundamentally malaligned. And these are things that require a deeper level of attention and awareness than just say, okay, marijuana is the issue. It's not the issue. Sure, it can become an issue. Don't get me wrong, I don't use marijuana anymore, but I think it's a deep woven thing that people should be not demonizing. They shouldn't shame or demonize people who are just trying to find some sort of, you know, semblance of happiness or joy, or who knows, maybe they're trying to manage pain, like who knows. Everything in life is good at the sides, and there's bad sides. Yeah, exactly, geek. You get it, zombie. You get it, geek zombie girl. I'm gonna use my computer to make a nice little speed run through this, so yeah, wow, nice. So what's that? Yamaha, that. Exactly. So it's a Yamaha. It is Yamaha, the exact same guitar when I started playing 10 years ago. That's wild. So you're saying you had the same guitar. This, bro, I got this like 10 and a half years ago. So it probably is the same guitar. It's a Yamaha APX. Yamaha APX. It's a great guitar, brother. It's a great guitar. How did you get it to make that harp sound? Which harp sound? Like, you may just, it's just fingerstyle guitar, you know, mixed with a toned amp, mixed with an audio interface that's mastering the audio. But it's fingerstyle. Yeah, fingerstyle all day long. It's beautiful. It's magic. Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know how to play Pirates of the Caribbean, but I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, but not can't perform Pirates of the Caribbean. Tone wood preamp. Yeah. You should 1,000. It's a life-changing device. It's beautiful. My ayahuasca shaman some serious emotional acts, and he did 100+ ceremonies in ayahuasca. Strongly felt he needed to learn and implement the truths that he was shown. Yeah, powerful stuff. Absolutely, Lion. Thank you for sharing, brother. Let's do some. That attack went strong. Yeah, but thank you so much for sharing, Lion. I love your perspective, and I agree 100%. I agree. It's like we live in a very bizarre time, brother, where, yeah, a lot of these modern healers, you know, shamans, if you will, if we go that definition, they are very flawed, if not completely flawed, to a point where they're like living in a weird paradox where, you know, maybe they're well-founded, maybe they were well-founded at some point in their life, who knows, but they exist in a very bizarre power dynamic that we as a society unfortunately have, you know, leaned into, that we've degressed or devolved into, so to speak, where, you know, shamanic context is important. Ancient tribe shamanic roles is important. You know, history tells us this. philosophers like Terence McKenna and many different ancient speakers or ancient philosophers or writers like Psychedelic, Psychonauts, yes, the shamanic role is very vital, very important. But the modern shaman, a lot of the modern shaman, I remember actually I watched a YouTube video about a guy. He went to different ayahuasca retreats, and he was, I think, what was his name? He was like an Indian fellow, very famous YouTuber. But he basically said that most modern shamans are not actual shamans. Like they're like forget the words he said, but basically they're frauds. Like a lot of these shamans, they're probably not true shamans. When you come across a lot of these shamans who, you know, are trying to receive money for some sort of retreat, and you know, and they have all these people worshiping, or not even worshiping, but like praising and validating this and that. It's like a weird dynamic, that it's a power dynamic that is skewed, that is so far removed from the actual shamanic context. Again, I'm not an expert. I just know from a lot of what I've gathered, and a lot of people that, you know, sip these medicines. We live in a very unique time that, unfortunately, a lot of these healers or shamans are probably so far from people that should actually be facilitating these journeys or have these power dynamics at play in these very important, intimate, and vulnerable states that people are in when they're experiencing a medicine quest. So it's almost coming to see that we're in almost like a modern revival, as Terence McKenna says, of returning to the shamanic context in a different context. So as individuals, we as individuals almost need to change the change almost the culture of how these shamanic contexts are integrated right now in 2026. I don't know, whatever that looks like, whatever that means, many different ways we can unpackage that. But also Terence McKenna advocates, as he is, the role of the artist. As the role of the artist, that ancient shamans were artists. They were the same. The role of the modern artist, the modern painter, musician, like the true artist, the one that is like devoting their life to entering channels and engaging with the other and extracting wisdoms and truths from the channel that is in the other, and then bringing these truths back to the, you know, the tribe, to the community. That is the same role as the ancient shaman. The ancient shaman is an artist. Like, they were artists of all sorts. Like, they were deeply creative in the way that they were doing shamanic work, but also who they were. And it's almost like, I remember Terence McKenna said, part of why we're in the state we're in with our society is because we've lost the role of the ancient shaman, and we've also lost the role of the modern artist. Like, the modern artist is kind of straying from the more ancient path, you know, one that is very rooted within creating almost like a deep connection to the channel that is artistry. It's almost like we're creating, maybe we could say it's, you know, due to materialism or the creative industries or the corrupt creative industries that are trying to promote some sort of idealism that has nothing to do with what artists actually are here to do. So a lot there that I love to think about. I'd say any realization that you could get from any substance, no matter how powerful, you can gain from meditation. I agree so much. I agree so much, brother. Hats, tip of the hat, because I have a hat on. Yeah, I've been very sick in hospital for alcoholism. I have stage 4 liver failure and can't quit drinking. I've needed help for so long. Yeah, that's fair, Max. Well, I commend you for, you know, making those first steps, brother. Like, practicing some self-awareness. I commend you for being here. You know, I commend you for allowing yourself to just sit with the discomfort of where your state of health's at. And you're surely on the path, like that. You've seen this, you've taken this, you've created this visualization of, you know, being like, you know what, I envision something that is beyond this. And again, I don't know the deeper context of where you're at, and, you know, your path is yours, but I would say I do commend you for seeing, you know, just how much you can learn to now honor your health, or just be on that quest, even if it's through a lot of turmoil. And because sadly, that's the state a lot of us, like, not even in extreme circumstances, are at, is it takes extreme strife, extreme fragmentation, extreme breakdowns, even, if you will, or burnouts. A lot of us, like, in the simplest context, a lot of us, modern man and woman, but as a man looking from a men's lens, a lot of us actually just are normalizing the means of basically requiring, in a sense, for lack of a better word, breakdowns and burnout. Like it's almost like we don't have that intuitive ability to honor and listen to our bodies, to really know when to be like, you know what, when can we actually learn to listen to what our body's telling us? And if we're on the break, on yeah, just on this verge of breaking down or burning out, instead of achieving breakdown or burnout, you know, where our body's like, okay, now we're forced to surrender. Now, due to health debilitation or extreme circumstances, we're forced to now take a step back and honor our health. A lot of us, we should be able to honor this before that. We should, you know, allow ourselves to set the foundation, to feel into how we can make shifts or honor our body and honor to what our body's telling us or listen to what our body's telling us, so we can, you know, stop these things from inevitably burning us out or breaking us down before we're in this experience. And again, this is the thing we all deal with. I deal with this. We all get to this place where, for whatever reason, like modern society, the hyper-stimulated society, as men particularly, we're almost like normalized. It means, oh, we're gonna grind, burnout, burn, break down, grind, burnout, break down, right? It's like you think that, we grind, or just work so hard or stimulate ourselves so much that we burn out, we break down. You know, we overwhelm ourselves and our nervous system becomes compromised and we burn out, break down, we destruct. That's not normal. That's not healthy. That's not the way it should be. You know, when we're honoring ourselves, we're aligning ourselves with nature, honoring ourselves in the deepest degree. These are things that I think we should be able to, you know, be conscious of, to avoid. If you're looking for a spiritual journey, nothing can put you more in your body in the same way as yourself, just being alone with your mind. Absolutely. Making some edibles now. I like to eat a couple when I dose shrooms. That's magic, stick teeth. Yeah, that's... Thanks, Geek. I'm scared and I won't stop in time. I'm scared I won't stop in time. Honestly, brother, to Max, you're doing this like you're on... That the fact that you're practicing the self-awareness, I really feel like... I remember when I was much younger. I want to see how behind I am in the comments. A little bit behind. A little bit behind. I remember a long-ass time ago when I was smoking cigarettes and I was like 15 or 16 or something. And I was like... Well, I think I was like 16. And I remember I was in high school, and this one, like, kind of nerdy looking dude, he was like a chill guy, but he had like these like thick glasses, and he wore like a trench coat. And I was in an alternate school. It was a weird school. But he walks up to me and he's like, hey man, like, why do you smoke? Like, why do you smoke cigarettes? And I remember sitting and being like, no one ever asked me before, so I was thinking, I was like, I don't know. Because I'm addicted. I'm addicted. And then he's just like, so are you going to quit? And I was like, yes, probably. You know, I smoke because I'm addicted. And at that point, I remember making this connection. I was like, that's true. I only smoke because I'm addicted. There's no other reason, truly. I can quit, and I desire to quit. And, you know, and from that point on, my mind actually visualized. I was like, I'm going to quit, actually. You know, this is not a thing I'm going to do permanently. It's just not. Like, there was no deeper reason of, like, I smoke because I love it or this, that. I was like, no, I'm addicted, and that's it. Like, because this random dude wasn't even a friend of mine. He was just a dude, cool guy that was just hanging out. We were sitting in the classroom in math class, and he's like, yeah, bro, like, why do you smoke? I'm like, because I'm addicted. And I remember just, like, thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop. Like, I'm going to plan. I don't know when. I don't know how. But my mind knew. I was like, okay, I'm going to quit. Like, why not? Why continue if I truly am just doing this because I'm addicted? And it was interesting cognizing that, like visualizing, being, you know what? The first step to quitting something is just telling yourself, like consciously cognizing, you know what? I want to make changes. I think I know for a fact I want to make changes. I want to do better. I want to do X, Y, Z. Like, it's really like visualizing and like verbalizing and conceptualizing the things you want to change is the first step. Like telling yourself, you know what? I think I want to make some changes for the better. For facts, like I want to do this, I would love to do that, and pulling those threads, even if you're like in the depths of it all, like you're struggling, you're suffering, you're in the depths of addiction or some sort of, you know, intense place in your life, letting yourself think about it, visualize it. You know what? I'm going to make a change in my life. That surely is the best. Shrooms are the shits. Facts. They are the bee's knees, brother. I watch my dad's every single day. his life until I was 32 years old. My mother had a really, really bad heart attack, something important to him, and he never picked up another drink. Yeah, that's a perfect example of kind of what I was just emulating. Is some people, unfortunately, and again, that's the way the world is. Sometimes people actually will never see the consequences of their actions. They'll never understand the depths of their choices and actions until an extreme variable comes in and just shakes them to the core. We see this all the time. And I'm just saying, I think we as human beings have the ability to catch ourselves in many rights. If we can introduce awareness, if we can introduce a heightened awareness, talk about these things, think about these things, we can catch ourselves. This is neuroplasticity 101. This is, it's like forms of like psychoanalysis of being, what? Maybe we can make better decisions. Maybe we can catch ourselves, integrate nervous system regulating practices, neurologically healthy dopaminergic experiences that can let us catch ourselves before those extreme events and experiences occur that, rattle us to the core. I mean, sometimes that's what we need, unfortunately. Maybe it's a psychedelic conquest or powerful experience, but the reality is, I think we've normalized the meaning in this society. We've normalized this means of, just expecting that the extremes, only the extreme shifts, the extreme radical shifts that shake us to our core, maybe extreme strife, will only give us the perspective. But we can achieve true shifts and change our life before it gets to those extremes. This is what I'm really just kind of trying to articulate. But yeah, do not eat when you drink some water, go to the bathroom, and go to sleep. Advice to use, take 3 days and don't do anything. That's beautiful advice, Geek Zombie. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing to the homie. To the point I get sick and have seizures. Throwing up every day and have diabetes, my nutrition shit. Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, I'm glad you're here, Max. Like, I'm glad you're talking about this stuff, dog. And in truth, like, this is you're experiencing, unfortunately, a commonality of what a lot of people are experiencing beyond your circumstances. Is like your invitation, your request from your body and your experience to honor your health, your nutrition. These are things you have actually far more control than you could ever imagine, right? If you decided to wake up tomorrow, and again, these are progressive, gradual things, but if you decide to wake up tomorrow, you know what? I desire to design a diet that is comprehensive to my brain health, to my stomach health. You could do that, right? If it's in your means financially, you could be, you know what? I'm going to purchase some sauerkraut, maybe some ginger, some turmeric. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and make a healthy smoothie. I'm going to maybe monitor my B vitamins, take some B vitamin rich foods. Like, you can honor your diet, your health. And that's just the very beginning. It's almost like your invitation for your experience. Because one of the core issues I imagine with people that excessively drink is drinking depletes these vital nutrients immediately. Like, your B vitamins are gone. Most of these core essential vitamins like vitamin D and other vitamins that are promoting serogenic growth and all these healthy things, your gut health, all these things, they're going out the window. So in the simplest right, like, you could do yourself a massive favor by just, maybe being a little bit curious and being, what can I, maybe you can purchase some ginger or some turmeric, create some sort of concoction where just let yourself see how much ability you have to nourish your health and your diet. It's not even that complex of a mechanism. Now, honoring your health can go in many different ways. You can pull those threads and desire to start engaging in healthy cardiovascular training, which is not as difficult as you might think, or going and doing some strength training. But the idea is that, this request from your body is as clear as you just kind of made it, right? You can make dietary changes. Your diet is incremental. It's everything. It's really everything. So it's like, I hope you can find some dietary changes that align with you, brother. Last time I tripped, I could see the shades from the clouds moving across the landscape. It was like low FPS rendering. I love that for you, man. I love that magic. I love that too. I love auditory distortions and hallucinations. Even just the ability to like step outside of your lens and be like, oh yeah, like this world is just a malleable illusion. It's just a dreamlike illusionary complex, and that's magic. Mescaline is even better. Interesting. Lobster Johnson says mescaline is better. That's cool, bro. Honestly, I was actually at a store the other day. It's a magic mushroom dispensary that sells mescaline. It sells San Pedro. It sells peyote. Also sells DMT and LSD. But I was like really like, you know what? I'm enamored with the idea of trying cactus medicine. Yeah. Some great perspectives here. Some great advice to Max. When light becomes prismatic and the giggles kick in, that's the sweet spot. Go to hospital several times a week. Blood alcohol can have 5 too. Wow. Well, I hope you can really take the strength upon you, brother, to just honor your vessel, honor your health. You know, maybe address some core things that really motivate you, inspire you. You know, sit with that. But you know this deeper. Also know that ayahuasca is known to heal hardcore addicts. Yeah, it's ayahuasca medicine journeys, like DMT journeys. If you're really intentional, you really like you listen to the universe and let it align with your path. Absolutely, it can be a very powerful revelation. Absolutely. Gonna be sick and may have to go to the hospital and agreed it can be dangerous. Keys instead having 5, have 1. Some good advice. Yeah. And I can imagine text-to-speech is definitely difficult. Lovely. I'm in standard. I am in standard. I'm gonna try to get through these comments before I take a piss. Because I go, where do I work? I work in the film industry, Jeremy. Yeah. I'm in Vancouver area. I work in the film industry. But this has actually been my primary gig. I've been focusing being a full-time YouTuber. A high dose of mescaline is something I recommend. That's magic. I love to hear about that, brother. Mescaline seems tight as fuck. You take like 2 days off work. Yeah. 2 weeks off work, and you can't do 2 weeks, 3 days. Yeah. Some good advice. Honestly, good advice. I think just holding space, like just Max reflecting these things, that is powerful. That's a powerful enough, I think. Like, truly. I mean, this advice is great, though. I agree with these friends. Sounds intense. I probably wouldn't do well in it. I'm full of fear. Canada's a very chill place to legalize. Yes, to Moonstar, but also, it is a worthy endeavor. And you do not have to deep dive. You can gently enter a mushroom experience that is so subperpetually low, like a subperpetually low microdose, that could be fruitful. You have to, what I'm simply saying is, you have to actually develop a relationship with mushrooms. Like, this is the key thing. If, like, you develop a relationship with a partner, with family, with human beings, friends, whatever, magic mushrooms is the same. You have to actually develop a relationship with this. How do you do this? Well, you gently, you know, tread those waters. You engage lightly. You honor it with intention, with reverence. You associate lots of warmth and nourishing activities. Like, you got to really set the tone to create a healthy, successful relationship with something like mushrooms. Just because there is discomfort present doesn't mean that's something that you should avoid inevitably. Food for thought, though. Can't smoke because I'm on oxygen. Yeah. That's bizarre, friend. Free alien, what is your problem? Did free alien say stuff? Does free alien, what's happening with free alien? Is free alien is he on the quest? Is he the guy? Is he trying to unlock that new 24-hour no comment achievement? You know, is he trying to unlock that achievement? Is that what's happening? I eat weed to be able to eat. That's good. That's wow. Sounds intense. Smoke it because of the oxygen. And we have Jeremy asking more about jobs. Yeah, as I expressed, I'm a free-form. I work in the film. I have an agent. I do film gigs at my own leisure, but this is my full-time gig. Yeah. At least that's the quest. I take that back. As a Canadian, Lever is the best guitar played. I love to hear that you're rocking guitar stuff, dog, because that is your medicine, brother. I love to hear Amazing Grace and fingerstyle. Unfortunately, I don't know how to perform Amazing Grace. How far am I? Okay, we're getting a bit of spam. We're almost at the front of these comments. You and my dude. Wow. Not demonizing about it. There's something in the earth that we shouldn't use. Wow. I don't know, brother. The way you framed it seems like you are, in fact, maybe not demonizing. That's a strong word. You're right there, brother. That's just, we'll be contextual with what I'm going to say there. But you are separating yourself from the deeper truth, I would say, like with confidence. You're not demonizing per se. Maybe you are isolating yourself from, that which people align with values that are trying to see the good in using something like marijuana. But again, I think you're missing the larger point. That's all I would say to that, to Nabula. But hey, you're on the quest, brother. I don't, honestly, brother, I agree and commend you. I think people should be conscious of their relationship with things like marijuana. Naturally, I haven't used in 11 years. Don't desire to. But I also used it for a number of years, and I think there's something to it if people use it. Love this sound, very unique. Thanks, Free Alien. Appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna be right back after these messages. I drank a lot of water and just gotta, yeah. Bro, that sounds good. Reminds me of Macaroni's Union Weightless. Thank you. Yeah, this dynamic that I'm going for right now has been very successful, I must admit. It's been flowing through very successfully. Alright, 1 second. I'll be back. Well, 30 seconds. Enjoy the guitar sitting there, nothing, do nothing show. Bro, that sounds good. Reminds me. Thank you, Ned. Appreciate you being here, dog. Yeah. All right. Man, this weather is surprisingly super dope. We may actually go for a forest adventure, sort of do some piano and forest adventure. Absolutely love this channel. Thank you, Austin. I'm making an animated show about spirituality and family and music creation filled with temple secrets, gods, and ancient aliens. Might be down your alley. That's dope, Temple. Honestly, bro, yeah, I checked out your channel yesterday, I believe, or the end of the day before, and I really loved it. I love what you're doing, Temple. You're killing it, brother. Keep it up. And I love to hear about your animation. It's great. Like, I would love to see your animations on a larger platform or something. Like, I would love to see it, brother. Absolutely love this. Heck yeah. Once again, back from England. Welcome, England. We love England, brother. I'm half English, so, Blessings from Canada. Although I might be the least nationalist. It's not really important where I'm from. Yeah? Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think being a nationalist is like, yeah, I don't think it's that much of a badge of honor. I mean, you're beyond where you're from. You're beyond, your vessel of your whatever it is. Like, yeah, I think, I don't I love Canada. I understand how profoundly limited some dimensions of, the cultural heritage and roots of Canada are, but I still love it. I love my Ukrainian English genes when I don't know anything about really Ukrainian culture, at least not a lot, but I love it. I still love Ukrainians like crazy, and English people like crazy. Yes, it's becoming an evening routine. Sweet. Yeah, it's the show. This is the this is the YouTube realm show. Hey, bruv, Mateen, please do not spam, friend. think you stopped, but maybe I know you're giving me comments or you're giving me engagement, I think. But we don't like spam in chats. Or it came to this randomly. But if you ever need the perfect meditation music, ceremony music, or deep trance state, listen to my nose. Spiritual flow music. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the recommendation. I mean, who's not? I'd say, yeah, we're always looking for, spiritual meditation music. Do you steal that hat from Willy Wonka? Nah, bruv. I designed this hat. I don't think Willy Wonka. I'd look closer. I'd look closer, brother. Willy Wonka's not rocking this hat. I've designed this hat. It's not Willy Wonka's, but high praise. Who doesn't like some crazy unhinged, chocolate factory shenanigans? I just did some blood work. Low as hell on vitamin D. Damn, that sucks beyond diest. Well, take a supplement, friend. Go into the sunlight and meditate in the sun, You got this. Yeah. Please ban Martin. Martin FM. Yeah? If Martin spans like that again, after, said warning, then of course he's banned for forever. Oh, in the film industry too. What field? I probably do background acting. So not really. I'm the background. I sometimes get upgraded to principal acting. I can do some principal acting, but I probably just do background. I do commercials. That's my recent endeavor. I do like film and television, but I've been leaning into commercials where I'm background, And I've done some little like minor stunt stuff. I've done, some upgrades of principal acting, but primarily I'm background. Yeah. I think part of my quest is I think once I've unlocked full YouTuberhood, I'm like full-time YouTuber income, I'm still going to just pursue acting even more. I'll literally be like, okay, I got all the time. I'm making as much money as I need. And then I'm just going to probably start doing acting, coaching and lessons and start doing commercials as principal acting. Because commercials rock. You can make like ridiculous amounts of money. So I don't know. I'm like slowly, tentatively walking down that rabbit hole. Because I love it. Film industry is cool as fuck. Least doesn't look like Willy Wonka. Cold hard facts. If Willy Wonka has this much drip, as the young people would say, then, that'd be tight, but he just doesn't. But hey, shout out Willy Wonka. I mean, hey. I agree. Time wasters. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? We'll give Martin Shirley has not expressed. We'll toss him a little, Martin 42M. We'll give him a good arduous timeout. So we know that Martin, he gets the message. Homie's getting a strong 30 minutes. He can sit there and reflect on life. Yeah. Martin uses, wait, what? He actually used the N-word? Who is this Martin fellow that's saying hate speech? I'm so confused, dude. Let's scroll. I'm gonna look through my comments on the computer to see if someone's speaking hate speech. Well, whatever it is, Martin. I think you guys are talking about Martin F2M. Yeah, he's removed. But if he's throwing hate speech, then obviously he's not the target audience, and he's gonna be kicked. Boy, this came to me randomly. If you need a perfect, yes. I'm going backwards now. I'm going backwards in comments, it seems. Yes, the intro song will be perfect for the upcoming album. Thank you for listening. Nice. Must be reading a different chatting. Hey, Temple Lion, I heard your album. Big fan. Beautiful. Yeah, where's Temple? Where's your... I've heard your music, I believe, through your animations. I couldn't find your album, actually. Couldn't find your album, brother. Yeah. Look like the Joker with Keith. Nice. Yeah, ordered some vitamins. Vitamins are awesome. So, yeah, I think that's exciting. All right, let's try to do some things I was doing yesterday or the day before. Going all in on the drum elements. Gotta set up this. As Tingsha is gonna... There we go. Surprised I'm not making more mistakes. This is great. I did offer a collab last stream. Let's see what time brings. Ah. What was that? Was that? Interesting. You're talking to me. I did not see something of the collaboration. Do I need a moderator? I definitely love to recruit more mods. Yeah. I would love to. I would be honored to bring you Temple. And yeah, to Free Alien, you seem chill. But I mean, I haven't. Maybe make. I would happy to give you Temple Ion moderation abilities. Let's see. Add as moderator. Manage. Oh, I don't know if managing. I'm not sure what the difference between managing moderator is, but let's see. Remove timeout channel. Remove as managing moderator. Remove. I'm not sure. I'll just give you regular moderation. I'm not sure what managing moderator even means. Add standard. Can review, remove chats, hide or put users in timeout. Can manage blocked words and change the chat modes in live, and also has capabilities of standard moderators. Can manage blocked words. Okay, so yeah, we'll give you a manager, whatever. I can't say what Free Alien. I like your energy, brother. I appreciate you. I know you just came here, and I appreciate your energy. I usually like to let people. I want to get to know people a little bit more before I throw them a moderation role. But so far, you're directly on route. I would be honored to have you as a moderator. But I'm gonna just get to just let you be here for a little bit. But I appreciate you. I think I would love to have you as a moderator. Again, just rule of thumb is I like to just let people be present here on this channel for a little bit so I can understand their mannerisms, how they hold space. But either way, I'm honored. Yeah. Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. The harmonics. Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah, it's not. I had the same vision. I was like, I want to play guitar like this, like finger style, acoustic, percussive, yeah, like modern finger style. And fast forward 9-10 years, it's like now I'm creating music in the genres that I love. And it's like a lot of it I teach also on my channel. I have shorts, and I could definitely produce some long format content that would really help people learn guitar, because I love teaching guitar. That's kind of like, I just do that for fun, as I just desire to. This channel, I think, is going to succeed around a few very particular variables, but guitar, even if I'm not blowing up long format content on guitar stuff or shorts, I just love to teach people guitar. So I'm always going to put out confidently going to put out content for teaching people guitar. I'm always happy to answer questions on these streams, of course. Oh, nice. We've officially hit 1.6K subscribers. It's nice. I mean, I know we were super close, so that's pretty tight. Yeah. 1,605. 1,605. I'll let people speak freely. You got this. You got this, brother. You got this, brother. Now I trust your facilitating abilities, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'll always be here too. I'll always be here too to back up your perspectives and help moderate and facilitate. Interesting, interesting. Oh, oh. It's wild though. I think the weather's changing for the better. It's gonna get sunnier, I think. I think. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Seems like it might be possible to go for a forest stream briefly. You know, we can end the stream chilling in the forest, doing the same things but with a forest. Hey, magic, magic. You're so welcome all. Love this community rise to... Thank you, brother. Thank you, Temple. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. You're a kindred spirit, most definitely. I hope you're the best. I wish you the best in your expansion and growth in yourself, brother, and everything you're doing. You're killing it, brother. You're killing it. We gotta love YouTube, friends. We gotta love... Let's get this angle. Let's get this weird angle down. It might be these pants. That might be the problem. Yeah. Yeah, music, magic. I've heard of the certified health nuts on YouTube. Have I heard of this? No, no. We need more kind, just defend word. Kind wise. Nice. I like it. I like this. I agree with that. Have you ever heard of the Rainbow Gathering? Can't remember if I asked already. It's basically a lot of free spirits. Stay outside. Oh yes, no drugs. No... I have heard of this, yeah. I've been told of that by a few friends through Shambhala and the festival communities. Yeah. Seems interesting. Yeah, seems interesting. Yeah. I think if I'm not mistaken, it travels to different parts, like of the states or some areas. It's all around. Places where I'm not necessarily here or present there, but... Seems interesting, though. Seems like a very beautiful gathering. Let's try something. Let's try a rhythmic exercise where oh. Do you try to eat healthy or you just ice cream and Oreos? What? I can't tell. I can't tell objectively. I'm assuming Jeremy's talking to me. I eat extremely healthy. Yeah. Ice cream and Oreos. Haven't eaten ice cream and Oreos in probably 10 plus years. Yeah, yeah. You know, I speak openly to my community, people like Max, people like the newcomers or whatever, about diet, blah, 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 blah. Fact of the matter is, I have an extraordinarily healthy diet. I have for like 10 plus years. I love it. I'm a vegetarian. I eat very healthy, like, I eat just lots of brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes, eggs, uh, lots of fruit, you know, lots of nuts like cashews and etc. But that's it. Like nothing else. No processed foods, no processed sugars, nothing like that. Haven't for a long ass time, and I love it. I love it. My body loves it. I love it, and but I speak from genuine life, like a decade of lifelong experience of not lifelong, but decade of life experience of when I go like, hey friends, eating healthy is important. It's like diet. Hey, it's like have a good diet, entertain your diet. It's like I've been eating a clean, healthy diet for a long time, and I love it. I'm also an athlete. For me, I eat for my mind. I eat for my training dimensions, and yeah, I don't judge people. You know, if they're like, oh, I eat sugar every once in a while, or I don't know, I'm trying to get healthy, but I eat this, and I love cheese, and blah blah blah. I don't eat cheese. I don't eat bread really, but I love my diet. I love it deeply. It serves me very well. It feels good. I love cooking with creative flavors. I cook a lot of creative trippy stuff, more or less. But the idea is that, yeah, I don't know. Even like my partner, she kind of is like, it's almost like my partners in the past, people they kind of, I'm an outlier. Like I live in a different sort of relation with food. I just do, and I'll be honest. This is 10 plus years of acclimating my gut bacteria, acclimating my brain, my association. This is many, many, many years of changing my diet. When I was like, 15, 16 years old, I ate like most unhealthy people do, I would eat whatever, eat processed foods, cheese, sugars, ice cream, whatever. I just didn't think about it, right? As a kid, I would drink lots of pop and eat ice cream and candy like crazy. Didn't think about it. Didn't even think about it twice. As a full-grown adult, I live like your quintessential healthy diet. Like I eat incredibly healthy and I love what I eat. And I eat lots of healthy food if I'm not fasting. So what I was saying is, yeah, it's good to honor your diet. It's a progressive process. I'm not saying everyone should do what I do, but you could probably take a page from that, book. Be like, hey, maybe you could focus more vegetables and whole foods and whole fruits and, legumes and sweet potatoes and the stuff that's actually really good for your body. And not just do it even at random. Like, let yourself honor your body, nourish your body with what it really wants to eat. Yeah. I don't know, but again, I'm an outlier. Most people don't eat how I eat. Most people don't have the desire to cut out all sugars and not eat cheese, not eat bread. Like, that's just my choice. It's my choice. It works really well for me. And I'm very healthy. But, yeah. I don't know. Again, I'm the outlier. What do I mean by clean diet? I just explained it, Vlad. Yeah, yeah. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian who just eats tons of sweet potatoes, brown rice, quinoa, nuts, nut butter, fruits, lots of eggs. That's just all my diet. Never deviates from that. Like never. I mean, I swear, if I'm like every once a month, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna drink like some kind of beverage, like a yerba mate with some processed sugar. That's the most outlandish shit that I'll go into. It's like I'll drink a little bit of processed sugar or maybe some cane sugar or something, and I'll accept that because I don't, I'm like, okay, my diet is very very good. It's very foundational. It's very healthy, so I can get away with eating some sugar or some cane sugar every like month or a couple times a month. But it's great. It works for me. And again, this is 10 to 15 years. Like I started this diet, this style of eating like 15 years ago or 16 years ago. And for me, 10 plus years of just like strong consistent diet, I love it. I love it openly. If someone tries to be like, "Hey brother, you want a slice of pizza or like you want some ice cream?" I will like if I were to, it would be going against my entire being. Like it would be. I'd be like, maybe I'll accept it, but you know what? Fuck it. Sure. Let's have some unhealthy food, but my entire being is mostly just like, no, that's just, no thanks. Like I'd rather eat something way healthier. I'd rather eat some dope, quinoa, sweet potato, I don't know, trippy taco mixture or something. I'd rather eat something that's dope, full of flavor, that is actually genuinely healthy for me. I have zero desire to eat unhealthy food. But again, these are just conscious choices I made a long time ago. Fast forward 10 years, my entire brain, my psychology, my gut has acclimated to that. I have zero desire to eat unhealthy food. That's just the way it is. You know? It's great. Are you on the other spectrum? What is the spectrum? What's up, Kylie's basketball game from Bruva? Nice. What's up from Kylie's basketball game? Nice. What's good, genius? What's good, dog? Eggs are vegetarian. Yeah, eggs are. Yeah. They're vegetarian. I would be eating technically a vegan diet if I didn't eat eggs. Because I like eggs. They're a very good source of B vitamins, of BCAAs, of healthy fats. They're very healthy. Yeah. Wow. I'm crazy, man. I gotta say, I love this. I don't know. I love the way this turned out. This like, oh wait, it kind of flipped off, but yeah, the way I like was trying to. That took me like, not even that many tries, like 6 or 7 takes to try to catch, this in the air, like to toss this, and then capture that effectively in the picture. It turned out really good. Just like bam, floating contact juggle ball. Super hyped on that. Well, I just had this idea. I was like, yeah, let's just throw it in the air and see if we can capture it in midair. It's great. Turned out exactly how I'd want it to. Ah, yes. Social media. So great. So great. So social. Magic. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for chiming in, Moon. Yeah. I think we'll probably either close this stream in the next 5-10 minutes, or what we'll do is in the next 5-10 minutes, we're gonna go be mobile. So we'll probably pop this on my guitar here, play some piano, and go into the forest. Yeah. Gotta go. Do you want kids? Assuming you don't have any. I would love to have kids. Yeah. I don't have kids. Not any rush to have kids, but I 1000% would really be blessed. I would love to be a father. And do I have a girlfriend? Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been very blessed. I've been very blessed to have, I would say, some of the healthiest most aligned relationships, like romantic partners in my life for the last 2 years now, maybe just over like 2.5 years. I've had like the last couple partners. I had a long-term relationship for about a year and a half with this really interesting but very unique like Romanian woman. She was really phenomenal. Like she was just like it was a good. It was a very healthy relationship. A lot of the ways it like taught me a lot, and it was a very quintessentially healthy relationship. And the relationship I'm in right now, I'm really really happy with. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I've been in an interesting chapter where I just feel blessed. Where I'm like, okay, like somehow the ways that my path has been aligning. And I'll be perfectly honest. I speak of this very openly in this channel because I love to, pull those threads, talk about relationship dynamics and healthy masculine energy and blah 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 and all that. But long story short, yeah, you will find in the real world, if you're on your path, if your nervous system is aligned and you're honoring your path and you're just living in the real world, having fun, honoring yourself, celebrating your existence, you will find that will bring you very healthy, powerful relationships, like those particular things. Being present and regulated in the real world, showing up in the real world, and just, naturally exhuming joy, just having fun, like celebrating, dancing. I dance a lot. That's actually where I've met all of my romantic partners over the last couple of years, is through dance events, ecstatic dances, raves, beach dance events, whatever. I go to dance events all the time. Like I'm a tutter. I do like freeform tutting and all this kind of shit. But it's like, yeah, long story short, like dance floors in the real world. Put your phone down, put down that phone. Most cases, like I like to be very blunt, is like most people are so profoundly disconnected or deluded or delusional if they try to dismiss the fact that you're going to find aligned human beings in the real world. It's almost like, again, I just speak this from, you could say that, you could hear that, people like, hey, go in the real world, meet people in the real world, like, okay, it's a good plan, it makes sense. But I'm telling you, it's an invariable fact that from my own experience, the last couple of years, having the most healthy aligned relationships that I'm blessed to have, that I've met only in the real world. Only. Like, yeah, sure, we're all on, maybe, well, hopefully we're not all on, on dating apps, but it's like, you can look at a dating app and be like, okay, maybe this is the answer. Maybe this is the way. Modern context or modern conditioning and programming has a lot of us convinced, for whatever fucking reason, that is some sort of amicable solution or some sort of good idea. But you can argue that all day long or not or whatever. The real world is where you're going to meet healthy, aligned partners. Period. It's just, I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. Do I have advocates with that? Kids are epic. I honestly, kids are epic. I agree, brother. Kids are epic. Yeah, it's funny because my sister, like, she lives in this household. She has a 1.5-year-old, and she's this adorable, just young woman or girl, not woman. And she's like a 1.5-year-old, an infant. So that's the word I'm looking for. She's an infant, and she is hilarious, very interesting young being, and it's so interesting to see, like, from conception, like a 0 to 5 months or 1-year-old, 1.5, whatever they go. It's very intriguing, if not like baffling and just surreal to see, just the energy and the presence consistently. It's not my child, but it's like my sister has this child, and my stepbrother, so her husband, who also lives here, is from California, and they're raising this young child, and she's hilarious. Like, she's such a interesting, creative being, and it's very, it puts in perspective. Like, children are obviously all very diverse, but they have such a powerful, creative, intuitive energy. Then the simplest right, they're creative geniuses. Like, they just are. We as humans, we like to project all our narratives, all of our projections onto even an infant. But the reality is they themselves are a raw, pure being. They're brilliant in what they are and how they perceive the world. It is so untouched, it's unconditioned. And that itself is magical, right? You can see and learn so much from it. And then they from you. And She's also very drawn to music for whatever reason. Like intuitively, all children I think are actually drawn to music and arts, but it's so fun to have these little moments where it's like she's very drawn to, like when I play the pan flute or something, or the piano, and it's just like seeing this young child so receptive to these arts. It's just magic. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's so cool to see this infant or 1.5 year old, whatever, so like organically receptive, so elated to just experience music for the first time. I'm like, that is so cool. Like just objectively, it's neat. Yeah. So true. My son teaches me more than I teach him. That's magic, brother. That's magic. I'm sure you're a great father. Take this from a dad. You're an awesome. You'd be an awesome father. Thank you, brother. And yeah, that's mutual kindred respect. I appreciate that, brother. I feel like I'm looking forward to when that time comes to be a father. And yeah, it's great to hear what you learned from your son. Yeah, that's magical, brother. Do you know life is living? Huh. Do you know life is living? Oh, do I know the song? I do not know. I do not know how to perform Life is Living. That's interesting. A 1-year-old is blood. It's your blood, yeah. It's true. She is, yeah. She's my niece, technically, yeah. And my 2 kids, I would die for them. I couldn't imagine a strong feeling before they were born. Yeah, that's so cool, genius. That's cool, brother. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. It's honestly, I spoke with this openly, in a different sort of degree of what we're speaking of. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, why it's important to... Oh, yes. It was talking about, this, social media, programming, dopamine, blah, 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 where it's like, the idea is that I've seen the way my own, say, psychology and consciousness, per se, has evolved, right, in the last, 3, 4, 5 years. And part of what inspires me, like, part of what is like a burning tenacity, but you know what? I want to do the best I can be. I want to show up as the most mature, integrated man I can be. Not just as a man, as a human being, for the sake of the next generation. Like, it's like, how bizarre is it to see that we as human beings, like, think of it, like the arduous amount of programming, dopaminergically, psychologically, that is cast into this world. That is, again, this is a huge central theme of this channel. A part of why I'm a YouTuber, why I'm doing this, why I'm growing this channel, is I'm on that quest as a personal individual, but as to embody this for those that are also on this quest, to reclaim their autonomy and learn to create an empowering relationship with your phone. Because for most of us, and this is where the conversation kind of unraveled, a lot of us have profoundly dysfunctional relationships with our phones, with social media, with all these little technologically oversaturated loops, right? That's the inevitability. By the default, a lot of us have profoundly dysfunctional relationships. And how we can penetrate that, how we can change that, is by introducing awareness to that, talking about that, like doing it from almost like a tenacious, very again, conscious and penetrating place, being, you know what? We need to change this. Like, this is kind of fucked up that all of us are in this highly normalized, addictive cycle, this pattern. We're all just locked in. We're like, oh yeah, phones. Let's just pretend that this isn't a massive problem, that this isn't profoundly dysfunctional, that we're just addicted, heavily addicted to phones, technology. It's just we're and it's not obviously we can't separate ourselves fully from that objectively. It's like we're indoctrined. If you're in my generation, I'm 31. If you're older, you might have a different relation slightly. If you're younger, you definitely have a different relationship. But we're indoctrined into this relationship. We have this sophisticated supercomputer, for lack of a better word, that's right here in front of us, right? This phone. I remember I was 11, 12 years old when I was indoctrined. I was like, oh, word, social media, let's get Facebook, let's get smartphones, let's do this thing. And it's how profoundly dysfunctional it is jarring, it's bizarre, it's egregious, if we're going to use words. But, yeah, and our younger generation needs our insight, it needs our guidance, it needs our truth. It needs us to put these things in perspective and be a part of the shift, the change. It needs us more than ever. The younger generation, the youth, the infants, our next kin, they need this shit so badly. They need us to be free thinkers. Be you know what? This is fucked. Let's step outside this programming and live a life that is more autonomous, that is free, that is aligned with what our ancestors knew and are teaching us in X, Y, Z. And I can pull these threads forever, but this is the reality, right? It's important. It's important to think about these things as full-grown adults so we can pass on healthy integrated programming to our younger generation, to our, our kin, or next of kin, or however that works. Empowerment is my favorite word. It's a good word. Children are divine. They are. Yeah. Yeah, they are. They're so divine. Interesting. A 1-year-old is your blood. Yeah. Brother, I swear, when I like to return, 10 years ago or something, maybe like just under, when I realized, I was like, you know what? I think I want to be a YouTuber. It was like the first time in my life I was like, materializing this idea. That I'm like, I think one day I'm going to be a YouTuber. And I remember coming to this realization. I was like, you know what? Most of my life, like this was like, again, maybe 9, 10 years ago. So I was like, in my 20s. And I'm like, most of my life has been about me cultivating this relationship with the guitar, with dance, with XYZ philosophical paradigm and whatever it is, developing my mind, developing my relationships and my discipline and all that. And it was all a very individualistic solo endeavor. It just was. And I learned in time, I was like, oh, I'm learning to empower myself. I'm learning to heal myself, right? I'm learning to integrate XYZ values of discipline and whatever. But I realized, I was like, what is the next dimension of this? Like, what is the next phase of my existence as a human, as a man? Like, what is this going to look like? And the simple answer that flowed through was, you know what? I was like, I want to learn to empower and inspire people with that which has inspired and empowered me. Literally just pass on the torch. It's like, guitar has helped and healed me. It's empowered me. Guitar, or dance and training and this, that, the other, philosophical context. These things have inspired and empowered me. They've really helped heal me. And I noticed that is my core burning desires. Like, I want to now empower and inspire others, heal people ultimately, with these things that have empowered and inspired me. Like, that was like my core revelation. These things have empowered me, they've inspired me. Now the quest is to pass on that torch. But I want to empower and inspire others with the very same things that have empowered and inspired me. And that was like the core, burning truth of, I was like, you know what? YouTube. I was like, yes, YouTube. Content creation, being a creator, this is how. This is the way. This is the path. How can I empower and inspire people on such a deep level? You can do so by just living your life. You don't have to be a content creator, surely. You don't have to be a YouTuber or whatever. You can just live it, as I love to and actively do. But it's like, it was setting the tone. Where I was like, word, if I pull these threads, where does this really go? How can I empower and inspire the most people as humanly possible? And YouTube, for me, is the answer among various dimensions of that. And it's great. It makes sense. It all makes sense. It all is very congruent. And here we are today, making it happen. Get that. Yes, lots of things are harmful when they're not in good balance. Give freedom and connection. It can give freedom and connection globally. Well, that's exactly right. It's as simple as that. It's like, the phone is a very sophisticated technology. It's sophisticated. It's very advanced. And the idea is that it can be a tool that fragments, that splits us off, that isolates, that fragments, or it can be something that unifies, that connects, that unites, that empowers and inspires. It can be both. And I really feel most people, for whatever reason, we've been programmed, we default into the latter. We act like, oh, but this is just a device that's going to, disconnect us, or make us stray from genuine, authentic connection, or stray from coming to deeper truths, or XYZ, whatever. That's just the thing, is we're compulsively programmed from this device, and it's using us, opposed to us using it as a tool, intentionally. And that's a huge part of what I think, if you are on that quest, but I want to be a creator, or even if I just want to develop a relationship where I'm promoting, actual authentic connection, actual presence, you're penetrating through the programming, right? You're actually, even as I do these streams, as I've grown this channel, grown this community, this is me successfully in real time penetrating the programming. The programming that once was splitting us off, maybe advocating disconnection and XYZ fragmentation, it's literally being shattered. That programming is being shattered in real time and being replaced with this intention of connection, of unification, of something that is larger, that's empowering, that's inspiring, or whatever it is, wherever you want to take it. It's beautiful because it's like it's paradigm shattering, as it should be. Somehow I've entered an alternate key on my pan flute, but I'm about it. I'm about it. This is where we want to be, surely. I mean, I make music on a computer. I make animations on iPad. So I have to admit, I depend. Yeah. Same time, I want to live off grid and create a farm and life community. Yeah. I can really. That's the beauty. That's the beauty, Temple. Is you are on the path, because I get it. I get it, brother. Like, I mean, look at me. I'm like live streaming at least an hour, sometimes two, sometimes three times, sometimes 4 or 5 hours a day. Like, that's like what it's not going to be like this forever, sure. But I'm on this quest to unlock monetization, watch hours, like develop a livelihood. But it's like it invites a further level of self-examination and self-awareness when using these technologies. Because yeah, I get it. Like, for the various years when I was like developing my relationship with creating content, with developing a presence via sharing performance art, even just developing a professional presence as a performance artist in various rights, it does, invite us to desire to develop a relationship with these platforms. It's not like we can just shut ourselves off indefinitely. You know what? I'm going to purge my relationship with this phone, or stop using the phone or technology altogether. For most of us, for professionals that desire to be a part of this modern world, that's not a inevitability, but we can always introduce an enhanced intention, a heightened intention. We can, a heightened awareness. So we can continuously choose every moment, every choice, every engagement, how we get to develop this relationship. And it takes time. Like, it really does take an extended period of time, but it's possible. Yeah, I would just say, just keep on going, brother. Like, keep on. You can still use this beautiful technology to develop your expressions, your animation, your music. As is I. Like, I use Ableton, openly. Here I am. I'm on Ableton right now. Hell, speaking of Ableton, let's hit the record button. Made a mistake there, but that's okay. Oh, that's on the wrong channel. That's not gonna work. Well, Hello, do you know life is living? I do not, friend. Yeah, still don't know how to perform that song. Guitars are technology, as drums and outhouses. Outhouses are technology. But I feel you, brother. Strangely enough, I mean, yeah, I agree so much with that Temple line. Is like, I myself too have a similar vision. I'm at peace with the direction of how that's going to unravel, where I think in the future, like without a shadow of a doubt, I've had that vision for many years, ever since I know that people that do that, they travel as creators or whatever they're doing as professionals, and they have little like off the grid homes. They grow their own vegetables and food and whatever, and they live in their little creative oases, right? And then they have maybe a property somewhere else, or somewhere they rent, and they go into society, and then they go back outside of society, and they go here and there and wherever they want to go. That's surely the vision I desire to have, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, I want to have a little beautiful off-grid property that I'm returning to, if not living actively. But also, my visions obviously last like 7-8 months, where I'm like, you know what, my vision's clear. I'm gonna do full-time YouTube and travel. Like, literally just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to Thailand, I'm going to Japan, I'm going to Australia, and just like doing the YouTube thing, making X amount of money as I'm traveling, and then also returning to, opening into that off-grid lifestyle. Because yeah, off the grid is definitely the way. Like, I feel strongly. Do you have any psychs? Do you do any psychs when you do Shambhala Music Festival? Sometimes, usually not. I haven't been to Shambhala in like a few years now. Like I went to Shambhala 5 years in a row. I think it was about, so before COVID. So like 5 years back or whenever before COVID was. I went to Shambhala for 5 years in a row. And basically, when I started going to Shambhala, I think this was the first couple years that I was, sober. I was maintaining full sobriety, and I started to go to Shambhala. And yeah, usually how I would do Shambhala is I'm there for about 3, 4 days. First day is pure sobriety. Second day, maybe I'll engage in some sort of mushroom experience, or I don't know, drink tons of coffee. I'll be honest, how I usually rave and party and whatever, caffeine. Theobromine, caffeine. That's it. Psychedelics, if I'm at Shambhala, I'll do maybe one day where I'll do LSD, or maybe one day I'll do mushrooms. But I have one psychedelic day, and it's usually on the third day, because that's like the day where everyone does psychedelics, Fractal Forest gets released, and everyone's just like on psychedelics. But yeah, I don't know. I think if I were to go to Shambhala, which I actually might this year, if full time YouTube pops off, I'll probably just buy a ticket to Shambhala and just rock it. But and probably record a lot of it for my YouTube. But the idea is that I would probably do Shambhala like sober, sober. I might maybe do a psychedelic conquest like the day before Shambhala. Like I'll do a bunch of acid or a bunch of shrooms or something. I don't know. The day before, and I might also just bring my partner. We'll just go to Shambhala and just rock it sober. Because I don't know about you. I mean, I know for myself primarily, I get higher sober, like sober, than any drug or psychedelic you could imagine. Like it's just the fact of the matter. I mean, sure, if I was like not living my most abundant self, like I wasn't able to express myself or really like connect with human beings and dance openly and meet people like on the drop of a hat, sure, maybe to some degree I would desire to be like, let's do some psychedelics to open my perspective. I'll probably do psychedelics, before the show, maybe after, to integrate, but I thrive and completely sober. Like I drink some cacao, a lot of cacao maybe. Maybe I'll drink some Shambhala coffee, and I just get high off of dancing. I will dance. I will connect through dance. I will meet really beautiful strangers, and we'll create energetic portals by meeting each other. Like that's drugs are just they're such a limiting thing. Like they have a role, sure. Like psychedelics especially, they have a powerful role. But if we're talking about music festivals, you don't need substances at all to enjoy the experience. Like not even remotely. Yes, it takes a little bit of a deep level, not even a little bit. It takes a lot of awareness. It takes integration. It takes self-awareness. It takes confidence, XYZ. But you can get extremely high, so to speak, from a festival experience completely sober. And I know this for a fact because I'm a performer. I've done fire performances, stage, acrobatic, vision staff performances. And when I go to these performances, I'm sober the entire time. 2, 3 days, I'm performing, doing stage performance, connect with performers. I'm sober. Don't touch a single substance because obviously I'm on a professional duty. But I'm saying is I've been doing this for years, like 2 years now. So for me, I often treat festivals as like a professional endeavor. But the more I've learned about it is you will and can get higher, completely sober, in a festival experience. That you're surrounded by portals and portals of people everywhere. If you're embracing it and you're rocking dance parallels and you're having fun and you're just, you just love yourself and life, you will enjoy the experience completely without any substance. And that's just the way it is. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how Shambhala unravels. Like, that's a powerful portal. But obviously, yeah, I'm confident in my ability to be sober and enjoy it sober. If you're ever in Scandinavia, Denmark, my girlfriend said you are welcome in our home. Wow. That's magic. Thank you, brother. I would honestly be blessed. I would love to do that. I would love to connect, brother. Denmark, Scandinavia. That's such a beautiful thing. I'm happy to know that I'd be welcome, brother. Denmark or Scandinavia. I swear, well, that's the thing is, I don't know, we'll see how this next year unravels, but I deeply desire to just go, like hop on planes and just go to cool places while doing the YouTube thing. So it's like, I don't think there's any places that are, off limits, so to speak. Scandinavia, where is Scandinavia? But it's beautiful to know that, yeah, I have friends in Denmark, in Scandinavia. Scandinavia. Scandinavia, Northern Europe. Ah, Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Ah, I really do want to go to Sweden, so I think that's perfect that that's right in a similar realm. Wow. Scandinavia. Wow. Scandinavia. Just looking here on the maps. Wow. Scandinavia. Sweden. And we have Norway. And we have Finland. And Denmark. Wow, what a beautiful... Yeah. And of course we got Russia, Estonia. Yeah. Wow, yeah, it's very cool. Can I hear an original song if you have one? I have improvisation that I can play for you. Magic. Now I'm just doing improv sound journey riffs as we are right here. Would you go to the Faroe Islands? I've never thought about that, but I would love to check out Faroe Islands. Golly, this is tough, Unc. Nice. This is tough. Thanks, bruv. I don't know, I think the younger generation, they say Unc for everybody, but I don't think I'm technically an Unc, but thank you, brother. Yeah. The hat is made of chocolates. I'm convinced. Wow. People really seem to have a fixation on Willy Wonka. I mean, hey, shout out Willy Wonka. But this is actually red if you look closely. This is dark auburn, like oxblood red. The light doesn't capture the entirety of it, but it's not chocolate. But hey, I'll take that. I'll take it. We some Willy Wonka motherfucker. Yeah. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yes, we're gonna check out our analytics, brothers and sisters. Gonna check out our analytics, cause yeah. So nice. Okay, nice. Huh. Top content. Nice. Let's see. Yeah, so we're at like something like 2,600 watch hours. So great. We're 400 away from 3K watch hours, where we get super chat, which is great. That's actually nothing. Yeah, probably about 500, 600 away from, yeah, more like 500, 400 watch hours. Whenever it updates, we'll figure that out. But super dope. Like so close to 3K watch hours. We'll be hitting that 4K watch hour mark in weeks. That's really exciting. That is the flower of life on my t-shirt. Yeah, it is. Do I lift? I don't. I think you'd have to check my recent video, Jeremy. Check my recent check my recent video, and you can decide for yourself if I'm an athlete or not. You know, you just the hat is made of chocolate, but yeah, the flower of life. It's an awesome hat regardless. Thank you, brother. If you got hungry while walking in the street. Nice. Yeah, honestly, I don't really eat chocolate, but that's great. Yeah. It's great. Yeah, sacred geometry. Yeah, you can't really see it, but yeah, a wooden inscribed flower of life. It's magic. It's a beautiful symbol. I would actually love to get tattooed flowers of life somewhere. Probably maybe like stick and poke, perfectly symmetrical somewhere, some flower of life. I think that's the move. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can hone this. I know we can. A little bit arrhythmic, but hey, we're getting there. Don't forget the forest walk. Yeah, it's been popping. It's been popping in my mind. Do you lift could be a legit question, no? It could be, yeah. No, but that's why I was kind of jesting, is being like, check out my recent long format video on how to heal the somatic body. Because it's literally just me doing calisthenic and strength training throughout my video. Well, it's just like little blips. But yeah, I do lift. I do strength training protocols like 3-4 times a week. Yeah, and I have for about 16 years. Athlete. Nah, I love bench press though. I do lots of what's the word? Yeah, lots of bench press and incline bench press as of late. I superset with handstand push-ups. I superset that with abs. Then I sometimes mix in what's them called? Sometimes triceps, sometimes whatever. I just lots of strength training. So it's like, yeah, it's great. Lifting is great. I highly recommend. Yeah. The playing style reminds me of John Butler, specifically on Ocean. Word. I think I know that. I know John Butler. I'm almost positive. John Butler rocks. If I'm thinking of the same guy, he's a very, very good musician. His compositions are beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Number 5, fitness. Nice. Number 5. I'm assuming that's a place. Yeah, I train at Planet Fitness as of late. It's a great place. I love Planet Fitness. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is, okay, we'll grab something. I'm almost low-key thinking, I'm trying to consider my time, because I know my partner, she's coming over maybe in the next hour or whatever, and I know I want to get some mangoes. I want to buy some mangoes and some sort of trippy food. So I'm trying to gauge my time. I might grab some fruit. We'll go for like a forest walk. And then from there, we'll probably do like we'll do some qigong and meditation in the forest, assuming it's not raining, and then that's how we'll end the stream. Okay, I like it. Go team. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Alright. This is the plan, friends. We're launching into the forest. Doing some, because this is the fun. I mean, this is just magic, I think, as a streamer, to have the ability to just go. Like, it's life-changing. If you ever desire to be a streamer and have the ability to mount your camera onto something like a guitar, very good plan. It makes your entire streaming experience way better. And it's just fun. You're not confined. You're not just chilling in one spot. You can be in many different places. It's fun for everyone, Let's see how I do this. There we go. I think that's what we need. This looks good. So suddenly, you have the point of view, and we're hands-free. Hands-free. Just magic. Let's see if we can find. Oh, something's going on here. It's not tight. Huh. One part of my clamp is a little bit messed up. Or it's loosened. Let's try to figure that out. I see, I see. Just need a little torque. There we go. Wow, it's good to know. That's really... Yeah. Huh. Beautiful. Beautiful. There we go. That's it. That's the move. It's crazy though, because you know, if you may have figured out or saw when I did this the last few days or a few days back, I've basically figured out how to really successfully use my Black Star Fly amp. Like basically do roving. Oh, why is this not locked in still? Wow, this is really weird. Okay, I gotta lock this here, imagine. You gotta really just lock it in. Wow. That's so weird. Somehow my portable clamp or my mount is like really weak for some reason. Let's just do this maybe. Okay, so I know I was like playing around a lot with it when I was creating content the other day. So the adjustment settings were probably very off. Playing that, yeah, I remember a few days ago, the yo, do you lift because a bit of a troll meme thing. Nice. No, I mean, it's kind of hilarious. I think people should be inquiring about people's fitness goals. But I'm assuming most stuff is just people just banging out meme culture, troll culture, whatever. It's like, you know, people like to be unoriginal, and hey, who are we to judge? I think we got this set up. Nice. It's been very strangely loose, but we'll figure that out. But it's just a nice day, so we gotta enjoy this. Yeah, that feels pretty strong. So, as we are, we'll find, yeah, a nice way to kind of situate that. Balance this. Yeah, I like that. Bring ourselves a lucid dreaming book. So we'll be philosophizing about lucid dreaming. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. Now it's just falling. God, there's something weird going on here. Something weird going on here. This doesn't want to lock it in. Yeah, it must be this mechanism here. I think we gotta like lock it here. It's doing some real-time DIY. Yeah. Let's pop it in here. Ah. Oh. I see what's going on there. Let's unmount this for the sake of practicality. looks like there's a screw in here. Yeah, it's literally, it's like, it's just the screw. It's always about screws, I feel. You know, stuff goes wrong. It's just a matter of learning to screw. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's just out of the screw hole. Don't think I have a screwdriver on hand, but I don't think I need one. Do I have a screwdriver? I'm thinking this is the move. Yeah, looks good. Number 5. Check out your long format video. Hey, thank you. Honestly, it's a matter of time. If you're subscribed to this channel, I'm sure it'll come across your feed or whatever. Which is, it's like, really, it's took me like a solid hour to edit, and it took me like maybe 40 minutes or like an hour to create, which is not normal. Usually it takes me much less, or it takes like half of that, or it takes me like 0 time to edit. But I really used that as a project. Like that one that I released today was like, basically I wanted to see, it was like, what was gonna happen if I actually put in some arduous effort. I'm not sure if this mount is gonna work. Wow, it's giving me an issue. I might need to take a screwdriver. Okay. Let's permanently fix this. I'm gonna quickly grab a screwdriver. Grab a screwdriver and tighten that. Hopefully my audience is still kicking it by the time I figure this out. It's even smaller. Now just more people popping in for the... And now the weather is just getting so dope. Okay, we gotta figure this out. And then just get into the forest. This is facts. Twist this baby. Might need more bent key. Dang. I'm not an engineer. Dang, how would they do that? Too difficult to miss. What's good, comments? Play some Bruno Horizon, message deleted. What's good, cats? Heath Ledger comments here to stay. Yeah, honestly, well, I kind of capitalized on that, where I was like, my recent long format video, I was like, it's Heath Ledger going on for clicks. I was like, hey, it's Heath Ledger doing a cold plunge, which is actually amazing. I was like, this is actually so great. It's like, I can use this dynamic to maybe get some sort of viral success or something, if I desire to, you know, just for the fun of it. It's like a nice little, you know, nudge at the algorithm. It's like, it's Guy who's talking about cool stuff, but he looks like Heath Ledger. Because who doesn't love that? Damn, this Allen key, it's not serving me here. It's kind of, yeah, it's cooked. Get the bent key. I think we finally figured this out. I think. Sure, this might, you know what? It doesn't need to be perfect. We can fixate on perfection, but perfection's not real, friends. Let's just attach our mount. That's there. Very nice. Oh, no! It lost its integrity slightly now. Wow. Yeah, that's so wild. Well, yeah, yeah, we can just bend everything. We don't need everything to be in alignment. We can make malalignment work for us. That's the lesson here. Is asymmetry. Asymmetry is king. You know, just because things want to be asymmetrical or symmetrical doesn't mean you need to be symmetrical. I just made it asymmetrical. I don't know. With that, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Now the weather's just getting better, it seems. Just beautiful. I think before we go, though, we're going to grab ourselves a ritual incense to have the beautiful dimension of incense, of scent. Whoa. Yeah, this is good. I'm happy how this worked out. So we're now suddenly all set. Gonna do some meditation before us, because why not? We're here to promote good things, forest stuff, meditation practice, ritual incense. So let's return to the comment section, shall we? Nice. So watch your latest video. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, brother. It was quite the experience. It's so simple, right? It's so simple, but so cinematic. And so, I'm probably way behind the comments, but yeah, thank you for the compliment, Jeremy. That video, perfectly articulate. And we're live again. Nice. No, but the idea is, yeah, it's like, I just liked it. It was very clear cut as I was speaking. It's like, wasn't too much, wasn't too little. Neighborhood dogs.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You're very special. It's like
I think, yeah, dogs of certain types will just flip out. But yeah, honestly, quality content. Like, that's my focus. It's been my focus for the last, week or two. Is like, I've been really just leaning into desiring to create high quality long form my YouTube content. Just creating high quality contents where people can go on little adventures, and it really articulates the classic YouTube content stuff. Yeah, it's magical. It also has a lot of creative freedom. Once you really embrace that, play me some song, Bring Me the Horizon. Nice. I don't know how to play Bring Me the Horizon or perform any Bring Me the Horizon. I love some Bring Me the Horizon, but yeah. Oh heck. That's unfortunate. Homies are, spamming. Patience. You gotta practice patience, friends. Especially if you're trying to request music from musicians. Not that you're gonna get it. Geez, this hat just keeps going. Yeah? That's crazy. That sucks. Yeah, there's been some chill people, I must say, on the streams today. But I guess maybe this is the time for those that desire to troll. They're coming out of their caves. Tim, the tool man, Taylor here, the screwdriver, and the tallywhacker. Hey, what's this guy doing? What are you trying to do? I was trying to fix my mount, my thing that mounts my camera. Yeah. We're really behind, of course, on the comments. Can a rubber band fix it? Honestly, I think fixing, fortunately, the solution, like I kind of said, was embracing asymmetry. You guys can't see it because it's mounted, but the idea is, instead of trying to be like, okay, let's just mount it this way, everything's on an angle, and then I've angled it again, so now it appears to be symmetrical, even though everything's now on a perfect angle. Angles was the answer. The answer was angles. Who'd have thought? You can't force symmetry, you just gotta create the illusion of symmetry with asymmetry. It's beautiful, especially when you are holding a guitar. I'm smoking nothing. This is an incense, ritual incense. It's called incense rope. In Nepal, they roll them. There's a merchant that travels from Nepal, and he brings a bunch of these from a medicine cottage. They take pure herbs and different ceremonial herbs, and they roll these. And then it burns. Yeah, have not smoked a single thing. I like to hold it here, though, because it's convenient. It's kind of burning very weird, though, but yeah, c'est la vie. Cave trolls. Yeah, they be trolling. They come from their bridges. They sing their weird folklore songs or whatever the fuck trolls do. And then they come to YouTube streams. That's their life. They come here and then they go. They go back from where they came. And we're happy that they do. That's the way. Hey, I've been good, Daniel. I've been good, friend. Yeah, very good actually. Life's been kind. Back on the cold plunge grind. I'm rhyming now for some reason. And yeah, got lots of love in my life. Lots of crazy compositions flowing through. Incremental metric success on YouTube continuously. You know, we're gonna unlock super chats soon. Gonna unlock monetization in the next few weeks, which is a massive win. You know, in any metric for any YouTuber, it's like, whoa, we're official, we're a professional. But yeah, it's going good. You know, just trying to stay focused, trying to stay healthy, balanced, keep my vision clear, focus on the long-term vision of being YouTuber guy. And it's going well. Like, as you saw, if you've seen my YouTube video recently, it's pretty refined, it's very polished. I've gotten an interesting style of like videography, content creation that seems to really open up a lot of horizons. So I'm excited for that. Let's just, oh, sure, that'll do. Oh, looks like the ritual incense has ended its life. Rest in peace. Let's give us a little, yeah, perfect, POV. Flip on this preamp. A little extra sound. Let's go, preamp. A little bit of Predley, sure. Lots of DK. There we go. This will sound even better. I'm gonna turn on volume. Oh, comments deleted. What's the monetization sub goal? Well, my monetization goal is pretty clear. Yeah, 4K watch hours is equal or equals monetization. So yeah, add revenue. So in about 3 weeks, you know, if we stream every day, get about 50 to 60 watch hours every single day. You know, that's assuming we don't blow up a long format video that will translate into watch hours. If we grind out streams every day, we will achieve in 3 weeks 4K watch hours. We're about 500 away from 3K, and yeah, that's been the grind. Goals, I would say I'd like to reach 10,000 subscribers in the next couple months. You know, just hit some incremental wave. Whoa, look at this. We like to aim the mountains. There's like fog and beautiful clouds. But yeah, we like to aim high here. The idea is, yeah, 10K subscribers, maybe say 2 months, 2.5 months. Pretty realistic, I'd say. You know, and as for monetization goals, like get a sponsor, maybe in the next like month or two, start receiving X amount of money, who knows? My long-term goal, again, if I'm being ambitious here, is probably in about a year, I aim to make about 10,000 per month. That's the aim. That's been the idea in my head. How am I gonna get there? I don't know, we'll see. Like, I have many different visions and plans, but that's a number that I would hit and be like, okay, we've done well. Maybe it'll take a year and a half, who knows? But that's the goal. I have many different visions and plans, but Yeah. Full-time YouTuber income, it's definitely a thing. But as for now, I'm just being present, you know? I'm happy to receive monetization, receive any given which dollar, any number above zero is a massive win. Like, you know, making income, I'm happy with any. I have low expectations. As subscribers, again, I'd be happy to hit 10K in the next few months. Who knows? Like, the nature of YouTube is very unpredictable. You just got to focus on making high quality content, doing your thing, grinding it out, being consistent. You could explode. Like, you know, it's the nature of YouTube. Sometimes you create high quality content that gets served to the masses via an algorithm, and next thing you know, you're just in a larger view base. I honestly, yeah, I don't really see the value in trying to rush the process. I think my success has been already crystallized, and I'm happy with any direction where it's a win-win. Like, that's the funny thing is the way I've perceived this for a long time, right? But the place I'm in with YouTube, it's a win-win-win, like in every metric, every given way. Any dollar I make moving forward, it's a win. Every subscriber, every direction, be if it takes months, be if it takes years, I've already won. Like, I've already succeeded. When the success will happen, who knows? Like, that's the fun of it. Maybe it'll be a few months, maybe it'll be a year. Who really knows? All I know is I'm making high quality content, having fun with it, and doing my thing, making high quality music. Yeah, so those are goals. Those are some goals. But I have more so, YouTube is just, you know, a recent endeavor. I've been on this quest for about 8 months now, maybe 8.5 now. And I have larger visions actually with life as a whole. Like, life is like the larger visions in life. Those are, whew, getting dehydrated. But those are surely, I would say, where my focus lies. The deeper goals. YouTube goals, that's just a drop in the ocean that I know it's inevitable to succeed. But the larger visions and goals I have as a human being, you know, to travel as in like the larger dimensions of how my life is unraveling. Those are the things where my energy really is focused. YouTube is an extension of that. Merch and Patreon. Yeah. Oh yeah. I am, yeah. I'm actually in the process of building a Patreon, yeah. Like conceptualizing a Patreon. Like, those are things that are a part of just succeeding as a YouTuber. Like, you build a successful audience, you can do whatever you want. Like, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually make beanies, like bandana type hats, like creative beanie type bandanas, and sell those as merch. They'll be like very intricate, trippy artwork on these kind of bandanas. That's what I'll sell for merch. And then as for Patreon, Patreon's obvious. Patreon's gonna be obvious. It's basically gonna be live streams, high quality content, all the stuff that do not follow the guidelines of YouTube. So talking about DMT, talking about changa, talking about mushrooms, basically talking about everything that's, yeah, not technically regulated or against, or it's not against, yeah, it's against the guidelines on YouTube, will go directly to Patreon, among various things. So Patreon rocks. I love Patreon. So we're in the process where my time can only be dispersed so much, but I'm definitely on the quest. Once I unlock monetization, I will rapidly dive into Patreon. It's all part of the process. Like, the way I look at it is, right, obviously there's a strategy, there's a process for succeeding as a content creator on YouTube, but the bottom line is always about creating high quality content. Like, just being a good content creator or YouTuber or whatever you want to be. It's literally just like, if you are successfully growing, you're growing your community, you're growing your channel, and etc., your vision is on the path, everything else will come naturally if you're a visionary. Truthfully, like, it's like, you just have to focus on, because if you don't have a subscriber base, if you don't aren't actually growing and evolving your channel and your vision, nothing else matters. Like, you could focus all day long about, okay, but how can I make money, and bottom line of this, or blah 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 blah. It's like, nothing matters unless you're successfully growing your community, because that's the entirety. And it's the bizarre thing is, this applies to many things, is like, growing a brand is so foundational to many different things. Like, whether you're like, you know what, I want to sell I don't know, food, or maybe you have a small business or a large business, or you're a musician or artist. It's like if you can successfully grow a brand that is like a channel, an audience, you find your audience finds you, and you grow this massive thing. Sky's the limit. You can do literally whatever you want. You can get brand deals, you can collaborate with any given person, you can, sky's the limit. But it's all about the first dimension. You have to create this first momentum. You have to create this channel, this audience. So it's like everything else is a secondary endeavor. Like, where you desire to go with it, everything else will come naturally. But it's all about how does one get to that first benchmark? How do you get to that first realm? How do you successfully strategize to develop from the foundation up this successful channel? If you can do that, then you will succeed, and you can succeed in any given which way. If you don't do that, then you won't succeed in any which way. It doesn't matter how you have all the ambitions to do X, Y, Z. If the audience isn't there, then you don't have a platform, and I don't know. It's a bizarre world we live in, friends. I'd say a prayer for Duke to finish the game out strong. Hey, let's go, Duke. Finish the game off strong, brother. Sell the healing bells as well. That's a nice thought, Daniel. Honestly, I'll be perfectly honest. The healing bell, at least the Tingsha, that one's rare. You can buy, like, I'll be honest, I've bought in like many different Tingshas. I have about 4. That one is very rare. I don't know why. I bought it from a music auction that a musician was selling his life's work of musical equipment, and I happened to just randomly purchase that. I was like, oh cool, Tingsha. And that one sounds better than most Tingshas. So I don't know if you could actually successfully just like mass produce Tingshas and actually make any good profit, because most of them don't sound as good as the one I have. Like, that's the weird reality. It's like, I bought that one at random, and it sounds better than any Tingsha I've ever heard. Like, the sustain on it. It's the material, the way the material is made out of, like, some pure copper, the way it was crafted. It sounds just better than most Tingshas. So, I don't think mass-producing Tingshas, like the meditative bell thing, I'm not sure if that's a possibility. But I don't know. If it's possible, who knows? Maybe I can make that happen. I don't know. All right, I think we're gonna find a nice spot where the sun is flowing through. I think there's somebody that's watching my last stream. Oh, that's hilarious. It's funny, there's this buddy that subscribed to my channel that's in Westwood. I think he's just kicking and he's roving around. Just navigating where I'm at. That's hilarious. You could work on a way to imitate and produce the Tingshas to your signature spec. That's the thought. Is you're right. Is like, if I have resource considerably, I could successfully unlock that. I could actually like create a Tingsha brand that sounds as good as the one I have. That's actually brilliant, I'll be honest. I think that's brilliant as fuck. Oh, yeah. But hats, like, without a shadow of a doubt, actually my partner, she said that she would be happy to help design them, because she's a designer, a creator. She's a seamstress and a designer, and she works in the film industry. So it would be right up her alley to help me design and create bandanas. Like, we could actually collaborate if we desired, which is cool. She's very passionate. So that could be the move, but we'll see. It's all about, developing that audience first is the move, and then once that is established, then it's like, bam, just like Patreon, freaking, 3D prints, trippy bandanas, and whatever we desire. It's all just a process. I just find it bizarre how it's like, there's a lot of people.
Fuck you! Suck my fucking penis!
Wow. Some kid losing his mind. Yeah, but legitimately, what I find interesting is that there's a lot of audiences. Man, I almost feel like I need to give that kid a talking to. Some kid on some scooter just started swearing and flipping out. Assuming he has some sort of high vision or high goal Yeah. I'm gonna go say hello to this punk. Yeah. I'm gonna flip off the stream for a second if we find this kid. This will be interesting. No more reaction to save guitar. I think this is cool. Nice. Yeah. Weirdest interaction, friends, for the few that are here still. Yeah, there's some kid. Like, I don't know what to make sense of it, but, you know, I live in Westwood Plateau, so it's a very close neighborhood. You know, I feel like even as I walk around this neighborhood every single day, it's a close community. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, community and people that are just decent folk, and this random kid on a scooter, he literally looks like 15 years old or something. He just, was just rolling by, screaming some obscenities and like racial slurs. And I remember so basically, I flipped off this stream, and I just point blank was just like, you know, rejecting my voice. I was like, hey, kid, what are you doing? Like, who are you? What are you doing in this neighborhood? And it was bizarre because then he just scootered off and was just screaming more obscenities. Like, I don't know what was going on with this kid. It's almost like he was, I don't know, like something was very wrong in his mind. But yeah, so then I just basically started walking towards this kid, pointing at him, and because obviously that's a very bizarre interaction, but I feel like that kid's in danger. Like, he's endangering himself, but he's also in a neighborhood that there's like kids going around this neighborhood. Like, there's like young kids, there's a school right there, there's like families, like nice families in the neighborhood. So I was like, wow, like this is concerning, that there's some deranged like 15-year-old on an e-scooter, like screaming racial slurs and obscenities. Like, so yeah, I basically was just trying to follow this kid on foot. Yeah, 15 is a scary age. Yeah, it's like you really, it was bizarre. Where I was like, wow. But yeah, honestly, I kind of low-key wanted to interact with this kid more, like just in the sense of being like talking to him like respectfully, but also actually like having a firm conversation. Like, hey friend, do you realize the direction you're going in life? Like, you're gonna end up dead or in prison. Like, what you're doing right now is so egregious, is so disrespectful. You're putting your life in danger. And it's like, maybe not saying that because the part, but I was like, man, I feel like this guy is like a menace to this neighborhood. So very strange. Not a regular occurrence. Yeah. Nice of you to approach him. Honestly, yeah, well, it felt like part of it was me just out of curiosity. I was like, you know what? Like, this is a kid. Because he was screaming at me saying like, hey, YouTuber man. So I'm under the impression he's like a local kid, because there's a few local kids that have been like, you know, enamored with the idea that I'm doing YouTube stuff or whatever, which is, it is what it is. There's a billion YouTubers on this planet. But the fact was, he just seeing me live streaming whatever, I'm assuming he maybe entered the stream and he got banned or something like that. That's possible. I don't know. No clue. But it just kind of, it really invited me to sit with the idea that I think this kid is, he's like, not only from not around here, but he lacks accountability. He lacks like people being like, hey, you realize what you're doing is wrong. Like, hey, you can't do this. Hey, where's your parents, etc., etc. Like, it's almost like very bizarre behavior, especially in like, this is like a safe, very safe, like, again, like kid-friendly neighborhood. This is a family neighborhood. Like, you can't have bizarre 15-year-olds rolling around on a scooter, covering their face, like screaming obscenities. Like, that's insane. Like, that kid clearly is mentally, there's something going on. So yeah, I don't know, very bizarre. Never experienced that, honestly. I hope the kid figures out that what he's doing is he's putting himself in a very dangerous situation. Like, you know, if he does this in the future, then it's like, you know, he's just like
acting extremely unhinged with zero accountability. You know, it's like, strangely enough, it's the perfect example of what I've been openly expressing to people that do this and trolling the real world. Like, they're so disconnected from reality. You know, their perception of how they interact with people or XYZ is so removed that, yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Well, again, I'm actually very, like, in the simplest right, sending him peace and harmony. That's the best we can do, brother. I'm not entirely sure. He definitely needs that. He needs peace. He needs love. Like, that's a human being that clearly is going through something painful. Like, that, kids do not act like that. Like, young teenagers do not act that way unless they're, like, unpackaging trauma. Like, that's clear as day. So I hear you there, Lion, and I appreciate your beautiful expression of peace for this fellow. Yeah. But again, I'm just glad that I myself am the individual that was, you know, crossing paths, interacting with this fellow, because, yeah, it kind of makes me concerned. Hey. How's it going, man?
Good. Are you in a live?
Yes.
Good. Did you find the person? He was like...
I did, yeah. I ran at him. It was...
Yeah, he
like,
was
I
my
had to...
cousin.
He's your cousin?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you should tell your parents that your cousin, he shouldn't be roaming around here screaming obscenities and saying racial, because he was like saying a bunch of, like, he was swearing and saying racial things, like screaming them. So I was like approaching him, telling him, hey, friend, you can't do that. Like, that's really disrespectful. I don't know if you can, respectfully, like, I don't know. Because I felt like that was really, I'm glad it's, yeah, I'm glad you can at least acknowledge that, you know, maybe you can interact, because that seemed very disrespectful. He was like screaming randomly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, appreciate you. That's a very unique situation, I must say. I mean, nothing too foreign, but like very sobering, very telling. So basically, yeah, I guess basically what happened was, this is a powerful sort of learning thing, maybe to be conscious of YouTube, you know, the people that, again, maybe people that are a younger generation that really don't have a very good level of self-awareness, like this fellow. It's basically what happened was, so I came across this younger fellow that was, you know, wandering in my community, and he was with his father, and he's like, hey, I really like YouTube thing, I'm trying to learn guitar. And yeah, he just decided to join this live stream, which is great. And then I guess for some reason he has a couple cousins, like family members, and one of his cousins was this fellow who's in high school. This kid that was on a scooter for some reason made the executive decision to start ripping around his e-scooter, screaming obscenities. Like, and then as I approached him, he literally, you know, was swearing and blah blah blah. Very strange behavior. Again, like, I'm under the impression this kid is he's going through something very, very jarring. But no matter what, so then I guess this kid, that's his cousin, he's like the younger cousin, he comes up to me, he's like, hey, and he said he was on the live stream, and he was just saying hello, you know, just wanting to voice that, you know, he's like, okay, I hope everything's okay. That was like, you know, that was my cousin. So yeah, long story short, I guess that's a lesson here, right? About honoring privacy, you know, being like, okay, maybe it's like you got to be really, if you're a live streamer, you know, you're doing real-time public interactions on a public domain, it's important to be safe. You got to be safe out there, friends. So that's my invitation to you, is be safe out there. Obviously, this is just a young kid who is just screaming obscenities. We hope he figures out whatever reason he desired to do that. But this is also where there's an interesting perspective, like professionally as a human to human. Like, I'm on a YouTube live stream, right? This is a public domain. But if this were an occurrence in the real world, this is obviously like, this is a serious matter. It's like, I think this young kid, because I would honestly, basically what I want to talk to this kid's parents. Long story short, like, this young kid that wanted to be part of the stream, I met his father when he got my YouTube. Obviously, I should maybe think twice before I give strangers my YouTube for whatever reason, even if they're well-founded. But the fact of the matter is, then I feel like I actually need to have a genuine, serious, adult conversation with the parent of this person that's associated with this cousin that felt to take it upon himself to rip around his e-bike or his scooter and scream obscenities and racial slurs like at the top of his lungs. Because that's obviously not normal behavior. This is a family neighborhood. This is a safe community. Like, that's obviously inappropriate behavior. It doesn't matter where you live, truthfully. But I feel like, yeah, this is maybe, it's interesting how this interaction resolved itself. And I think it does require basically just some adult conversation. One adult to another, the parents of this kid. So hopefully, they can address this. They can make sense of this. Be like, hey, like, what's going on with this young man who's, for whatever reason, desiring to act out so much? Because again, like, the takeaway that I said as a full-grown adult is young men like this fellow doesn't act out. He doesn't, like, act out like that. Scream obscenities and act very, I don't know, outlandish. They don't do that for no reason. So hopefully, we can find this moment where we'll align, we'll have this adult conversation with this young man's, or I guess whoever's, like, caring for this cousin figure. That's very bizarre. It was human race elevator consciousness. Respect follows naturally. Yeah. Respect is not taught in the world. Yeah. If you have some trouble going in life, we'd gladly help you out, man. Yeah. A shade. Very nice. So that. I have no idea whom is speaking of what. Nice. Hello, welcome to your video style. In peace and harmony, opinions on viewing his life. So homie says, dog, Kaja, stop talking about me. Well, Kaja, I'm not sure if you're the younger cousin or the other cousin. At any rate, clearly, we have a nice matter on our hands that just requires immediate banning, of those that are trying to obviously go against community regulations. And I don't know, just seems that some people are going through some stuff. Yeah. So from Spone today, Ryan, if solipsism is true, that kid is you. Yeah. You're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong at all. Like, that's where I'm trying to hold an interesting objective stance, where it's like, this fellow, like, this is a young dude that's literally going through something. Like, that's not normal behavior. Like, this is, if anything, we can learn anything. If I look at my younger self, like, to definitely reflect, like, if I looked at my younger self when I was 15, we all have moments where we act out, truly, but that acting out is usually from a place of trauma. It's coming from a place where, for whatever reason, this young man decided to go on himself to just, like, do some outlandish shit that's representative of what he's going through. Something's going on within his psyche that, I don't know, I guess it's just too much for him to properly just function like a regular human being. Again, it's a beautiful moment of learning and reflection. Hopefully, for the young man and adjacent. Like, I don't take this thing personally. Like, it's a bizarre thing. It seems like this is a YouTube live stream, right? This is a public domain. This is a part of being a YouTuber, obviously. Is you're putting yourself in a position where you are going to receive projection of whomever desires to be present here. And of course, this is not exempt to being in your community. And it's bizarre because this is, again, where my mind sits. YouTube stream or not, the core thing is, this is a neighborhood. It's a family neighborhood. It's a safe neighborhood. I would take it upon myself, if anyone at any right were try to and just basically operate in a way or act out as this kid do, in a way that was just, like, genuinely seemed like it was just unsafe. Like, to himself primarily, of course, but it's also just seems like weird behavior. Not acceptable, clearly. But anyways, I'll put a pin on that. Again, I think I agree with Lion's perspective is this is a human being that literally just needs peace and yeah, and peace and I don't know, just love. Like hopefully he figures out what's going on in his mind. And if I do organically find this ability to interact with the authority figure of this kid, this young man, then we'll have a conversation, because that's obviously unacceptable. And it's strange to see in this world that a dude like that, for some reason, doesn't understand that. Yeah. Time to incubate and express. I don't know if that's the time, brother. Incubate and express. I mean, good a time as ever, brother. But I think it's time to probably break the fast, eat some food that is, and organize my time to, spend some time with my partner. But yeah. Again, powerful lesson. I say that with utmost sincerity. It's like, that's a powerful lesson and sobering reflection of the state of, some of the younger generation. I'll take that, as I do, with utmost sincerity. Gotta say though, this weather rocks. Yeah. Magic, there we go. For whatever reason, my internet dropped this. All right, so I think let's put some concluding thoughts to kind of summarize, because yeah, that's again, have a blessed day, because it's incompatible at the same time. So what do you think of it, Darian? Incubate and express is irony. Interesting. Incubate and express. Yeah. I have to go now, champ. Fair enough, brother. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Now, thank you so much for being here, Lion. Appreciate you, brother. I want to say immensely grateful for you being a part of this, brother. Every day we wake up and it's a blessing. Yeah. And yes, Dara is British Columbia. Yeah, that it is. This is a bad connection from Canada. Yeah. My connection just dropped, actually. I don't know. Doesn't typically happen, but yeah. A blessed day. Yeah, man. Magic. All right, so I think, yeah, we're going to summarize. We're going to quickly just kind of put some closing thoughts. I think it's been interesting, like, as I was basically going to say, my train of thought was, I felt it was a very interesting contrast where I literally just went to the forest, kind of just have some quiet, have some serenity or whatever, do some meditation. Like, that was the kind of key thing. Just to sit with the forest. And then, as this weird novel experience, if you will, novel experience that I think was a very powerful learning experience. Like, truthfully, I could not think of a more powerful sort of learning moment for myself and for these random individuals that were, roaming through Westwood Forest. Because obviously, as a YouTube live streamer, like, let's be real here. When you're a streamer, YouTuber, whatever, again, you're in a public domain. In the future, when you're a person engaging in the public, right? Say you're walking down the street, you're in your community, and you're in your city, or you're traveling the world. Obviously, you're going to come across people. You're going to come across characters, nefarious characters, good characters, beautiful human beings of all sorts. And naturally, as this stream sort of unraveled, I guess it was the weirdest thing. Like, if you were here or we were not present, basically there was a young fellow that came across that just expressed interest that he wanted to, join the stream. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, that seems like an interesting moment. I met this young fellow in the real world, and I guess he had some family members that he shared the stream, and he was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. I met this YouTuber. And then I guess for whatever reason, some of his cousins prompted this other younger fellow to just rip down on his stream and just scream obscenities and just say a bunch of swear words and racial things on maybe to interrupt the stream. So then that's at that point I was like, wow, that is very jarring. And anyways, Tell my surroundings, jamming in a jazz club. I could see myself jamming in a jazz club. That'd be rad. But yeah, long story short, you know, I found myself flip off the stream for a moment because I wanted to approach this kid, just have a conversation with him, like, hey, like, I think you need to realize what you're doing is wrong, but just like give him a regular adult to kid, heart to heart. Nothing like that bizarre. I was just like, wow, this kid, for whatever reason, thinks that is okay to, you know, just be very, again, almost like acting out, be almost like very unhinged in a family neighborhood. This is my neighborhood. You know, to have some random kid flip out and say some things, I was like, this is very bizarre. This is a safe neighborhood. And I guess it's strange because the cousin is actually from, like, I guess the kid that's from around here, he's a part of this neighborhood, and I guess he chose to do something that was acting out. So anyways, I think, in the truth, you know, I'm just going to take that with a grain of salt. It is what it is. You know, people will do what they do. But I think it's very interesting to think about. It's a learning moment. You know, for one, if you're a YouTube live streamer, you know, be conscious. Be conscious of who you interact with, who you invite into your sacred community. If it's, you know, strangers, young, you know, fans or people that are like, you know what, I'd love to be a part of this. Be very conscious continuously. This is the reoccurring theme I've expressed and actually exercised very openly on the stream. You know, I very actively have zero reservations to, you know, ban people from the stream, to make this community a safe community for this YouTube space. You know, a community where people can feel safe to express themselves and have similar values, etc., etc. So I think it's a powerful learning moment where it was like, you know, the cousin of this young man decided to do some outlandish stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know, it is what it is. Like, it's in the real world, I think this fellow clearly has got some stuff going on. It is what it is. But, I don't know. It invites me to see that obviously when you're a streamer, you're entering a public domain. There's people in the real world of all sorts. This was just some young, misguided dude screaming out stuff to try to, I don't know, get some attention on a live stream. It's very weird. Wouldn't expect them in all his dreams. But all I can say is that I think, hopefully, you know, if I'm around this community doing my thing, I see this young man, you know, can get in contact with the parental figure that's connected to this young man who decided to do that. I can just have a nice adult, respectful conversation. And with that, you know, also continuously reinforce the idea that I want to create this space to be a sacred space, a safe space. And that's, again, an extension of how I want my community to be. Like, that's why I was so, like, caught off. I was like, wow, this is my community. This is a family neighborhood. I've lived here for like 10 years. Never in my life I've had some random kid ripping around an e-bike, you know, being disrespectful, screaming out obscenities. Like, I've never seen that. That was like so bizarre. I was like, you know what? I think it's like a citizen duty to be like, you know what? I want this neighborhood to be a safe space for all the young families and families around there. So it's like, to have this one kid do that, I was like, I think that warrants a bit of adult intervention. Because obviously I'm a full-grown adult. Like, the kid may not make that direct connection, but it's like, yeah. Interesting indeed. Yeah. Communal healer. Yeah. Boo is right. Yeah. Yeah, Boo is right. Definitely some of the festivals in BC. Yeah. Nice. Hey, I appreciate you, Darylyn. And by the way, yeah, sorry, I've been trying to address some of the conduct, you know, just kind of unraveling, put it into perspective. But yeah, welcome to the stream, Darylyn. Welcome, friend. And yeah, I am from British Columbia. Our festivals are dope as fuck. I'm actually a festival performer. I've done festival performances for the last couple of years, a lot of small festivals, and I love that culture. I love that scene. We got a lot going on here. Yeah, it's a beautiful scene. Yeah. Play some fast, pace music. Another time, friend. Another time. I think with this, we're going to put a close to this stream, but thank you so much for chiming in. Yeah, I appreciate you subscribing, brother. Appreciate you subscribing, join this community. Yeah.
you very much. I appreciate the support again deeply. Deeply appreciate you guys chiming in. And yeah, for those of you new to this channel, basically I teach guitar and I do meditative sound journeys among various sorts of things. Yeah, and feel free to follow this channel if this resonates. I think for now I'm probably gonna do some human stuff, work on some stuff, maybe edit some stuff. Yeah, enjoy this beautiful day. Nutshell. Still not a cover artist, but thank you for that. Yeah, for the request. Don't know if you saw earlier. Artist name is Zafu. Yeah. Where can I see your album, brother? I know I was looking at your channel the other day. I couldn't find where the album was. Zafu. Ah, word. Beautiful. Very cool. Y'all check it out, man. Yeah. Hey, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Heath. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. Yeah. Anyways, well, thank you so much for chiming in. And I appreciate you guys again holding space. And yeah. It's been an interesting stream, most definitely. Have you listened to Rabeh Masad? Can't say I have. Nah, can't say I have. Yeah. You'll have to check it out at some point. Anyways, thank you so much for chiming in. Remember to honor yourself and to honor each other. Much love. Bless. See you in the next episode. Hey.